It's not a birthday. Alright, I dropped the veil on this disguise. So hello.
Uh-oh.
Indeed. Hello everybody! Welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with my players. Not Sam, because unfortunately Sam can't make it. Well, he can't make it at the moment. He will probably be here during the break, if at all, so... I have
Sam
no
is...
high hopes, yeah.
Sam is predisposed.
He's MIA at the moment.
He's...
Killed by
busy.
Ghaakt.
Missing in Adamanthia.
He's
So-
all tied up.
Yeah, exactly. In the basement.
Had to make the hole for Ghaakt somehow.
So, I am here with my players. Sudz,
Hello.
Harlan,
Hello.
Simon,
Hello.
Will,
Hey.
and Infernal. I'm doing that because Infernal always wants to be last.
Yes, I'm fucking used to it.
Yeah.
Weird if I don't laugh.
Look, it was easier to move everybody up and add Will on rather than move everybody down and then move Will on, so... It's just how it went.
Now I get to be first.
I could,
yeah.
I could do it backwards, then you'd have to be second, Infernal. How do you feel?
I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna do D&D anymore.
Oh no.
We can't live without the
Like,
hold.
Grim, we need you.
We need the reckless barbarian who runs into the middle of a fight and almost dies.
Well,
Yeah.
We need your muscles.
Muscles, yes.
Barbarian sees Barbarian do.
So, yes, hello and welcome everybody. This is the Dawn Seekers, D&D. We carry on episode 34, believe it or not. It's been 34 weeks. Another, how many would that be? Another 18 and we're at a year?
Yeah.
That's scary thought.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, like 18 weeks where it's like, oh yeah, that's like what, 3 months? It's like, yeah, but that's time goes by. That's gonna be here in no time. We're gonna be getting around to Christmas and be like, man, it's been a year. So yeah, it's coming up on it soon. Anyway, 2 announcements. Thank you to Sasha for allowing me to make generic tiles. Oh man, you saw nothing. Amazing tiles, which I do plan to use in the future. Don't know when, but whether they'll be in this campaign on Thursday, I have no idea. But either way, thank you to Sasha for the hard work put in on that. Do go check her out. She's got a lot of commissions, I know, but I'm sure there are a few more that can be put in there. Also, thank you to Tabletop Audio for the audio service you provide, and soundtracks, and the sound pad, allowing me to mix and match musics from all over to make strange sounds and soundtracks to be played during my D&D. You can use them in yours as well. It is a useful service and it is free. Yeah, go check them out. Other than that, thank you to Dungeon Pit Studio for allowing me to make maps, and to Incarnate for doing the same thing, making a little bit more detailed maps, such as this beauty. Takes a while to make maps, and in detail like this, that can also be very difficult. However, they are good maps nonetheless, good quality, and you can be very creative with it, and there's a lot of pre-made tools on here to help you out with that as well. So, without further ado, and I think that is everything, we shall get into the session, shall we not? Last session, our party of adventurers, Sasha, Queglod, Elsyan, Bhold, Malcom, and Ghaakt, mourned the loss of their friend Chronicle Loy, a long-time companion to the party, honouring his death with a few drinks in the Undertavern, before gathering themselves to sleep it off, returning to the city the following morning. Then that next morning, the party went about their business, helping the local populace around the city, breaking up scuffles and other issues they came across, as well as receiving a place of residence, gifted from the High Governor himself. The party accepted a challenge with the builders of their home, a group of dwarves, to a drinking and arm wrestling competition. They did this to see if they could get another home upgrade for free. However, with a loss on the drinking competition, and a challenge of the arm wrestling competition from Bhold, the party got the upgrade for free, but they had to do the manual labour and effort in order to get this built. So, our party remains rested, prepared, and in your new home. Your new home is quite nice with regards to what it is. It's not too small. It's got a relatively nice open floor plan at the beginning. You've got a nice downstairs area leading upwards to a staircase which is currently perpendicular to looking in through the door. It leads up to an upper area which leads to a small balcony-like region with a few small inset rooms, but most of it is just a large upstairs lounge, leading backwards into a series of beds which are all currently laid out. There are also a few guest rooms which lead further back if you wish to use them. The beds themselves, currently you just have access to the frame and the basic mattress. You don't have anything more that you currently have. Your furniture will be brought in on this day, and you will also be able to receive your next upgrade if you wish to put it forward. However, you will have to work for it. That is down to you. So, you all wake up in the morning, a little bit stiff on some of your parts, but nonetheless, you all wake up and are relatively well rested. Obviously, Elsyan has been up for a bit, and Elsyan's left what looks to be a note on the small table. It reads something like this: I have gone for a walk. I'll be back after I have finished my business. If you want to choose the upgrade, go ahead and do that without me. If we are hiring anyone, wait for me.
Wait. Okay.
So Elsyan is out of the building at the moment. He's obviously woken up early and headed off. So, all waking up, Ghaakt, you are with them. Surprising enough, you seem to have fitted in relatively well to this small band, and you seem to be one of the first ones awake. The build of the bed is relatively sturdy. It's able to accommodate your large size. Your large viol stands against the wall as you wake up, and you can see around you that the general living area is nice. It's currently very spacious, and the furniture will be brought in as time goes along.
Time to start breakfast.
Okay.
God, I hope there's a kitchen.
There is a small kitchen currently attached to the
Okay,
downstairs. It's in a small kind of arch. There's an archway that leads into it. Again, wooden floor. The worktops are basic setup. There isn't like a necessary cooking area per se. There's more just like worktops at the moment. If there's any further enchantments to be put in for cooking food with some form of heat magic, that will need to be put in place. You also know that there is a small corridor that is currently sealed off by some kind of door which you didn't investigate last night. You were too tired to do that. Did you want me to draw a visual representation of your home, by the way, guys?
Yeah, a map would be nice.
Okay. So, in terms of what you have a home which looks something similar to this. So you'd have the front area. This is the basic downstairs area. You can fill it as you see fit. You have the staircase leading up, which leads there, which leads into an upstairs area, which is roughly like this. Has a little bit of a overhang on this portion here. And this overhang this would be the top floor, this would be where your bedrooms are, this is the lower floor, and this is a staircase. So this would lead up like that. Leading onto the second floor, you then have a series of back rooms. These back rooms are used for guest rooms. The rest of this up area is generally just for lounging, and there are a few beds about the place. On the lower floor, following the same pattern on the lower floor, the size may not be exactly the same, so don't get complacent about it. Nope, needs to be over one more. Over this side, there is a doorway that leads this way. Obviously, you've got the staircase here, and you also have.
Where's that? Is that?
This is on the lower floor here.
Oh Lord.
So this is the lower floor, a replica of this being the staircase. And you've got two doors. You've got one ahead that's also that's underneath this overhang, and you've got one on the right. The one on the right leads into a kitchen area that leads back into this area, and then there's a door in the back area of this that leads out into a small garden area which you currently have cornered off compared to the rest of the building. You also have a large courtyard up here. It's a pretty large courtyard, probably about 100 feet or so, and you can use that for your own personal use. and then you have a doorway that leads into a back area which you haven't explored yet. Excuse me.
So wait, is this the room I'm in right now? The
This would
kitchen?
be the room you're in right now. Everybody else, with the exception of Elsyan, I'm going to move everybody back. So in terms of where everybody would be, Sudz, you would be in bed, so you'd probably be in one of the ones on this end. Sasha, you'd be in the next bed. Bhold, you'd be in the next, and so on.
Bhold is passed out. He was too drunk.
Yeah, so you'd be passed out in your bed still. And Queglod, you'd also.
We managed to drag you up there.
Yeah. I don't know where the beds are, but I'll get a representation once you decide to where you're going to put the furniture. You can sleep in spare rooms as well if you wish.
As I go down the stairs, I go past the makeshift crane mechanism we used to get Bhold up the stairs.
Just a bit of rope from the bag of holding tied around the top portion of it. Used to pull them up.
There's a big seesaw.
Yep. You make your way into the kitchen. Just basic worktops on either side. A few cupboards. Currently, everything is empty.
Oh. I need some. What am I gonna make for breakfast? Do I have anything in my bag that would be food? Don't think so.
You should
Reminds me
start
I
with a
should probably
few
get
rations.
that reminds me I should probably get that character sheet up.
Yeah, that would be useful.
Probably.
Get your character sheets up. Yeah, I believe you have a few rations because you were on a journey. So, at this time, when you're looking around the kitchen, Malcom, you're on the next to arise. After your rest, you find that the bed was relatively comfortable. You've slept in worse. You've also slept in better. But it's nice. You could see this working out as a nice home. You can visualize a few bits and pieces of general furniture where you wish to place them when it gets to it.
Malcolm's gonna go down to get started on cooking some food for everybody.
We're way ahead of you.
True, but
I have food to cook,
he knows how to cook, and he has food.
and I have food.
So making your way downstairs, you see that there's Ghaakt in the kitchen. He's currently rifling through his backpack, seeing if he can find anything.
I'm reheating chicken tendies. Do you want some?
I've got something a little bit better.
What would you like to do, Malcom?
Let's see. Well, let's see. I have.
While you're
Well,
sorting that out,
I got meat, and I got apples.
What type of meat?
Red meat.
you've been using
You
it.
know.
You've been using it to feed Arachne and Featherwing.
Yes, and I'm gonna use some of that now for food.
Meat. That
Lots.
one fantasy food. Meat from what? I don't know. It's meat.
Something.
Meat.
Okay, so attempting to cook something. What would you like to try and cook with? You haven't got any real good cooking stations. They're not installed yet.
Well, I do have my walk, and I do have spell for fire, so
Okay. So proceeding to use what spells you can to try and use some heat magic on the wok and proceed to starting up food. Make me a wisdom check. Or cooking utensils, sorry.
yeah. Let me just check and see what that be real quick. All right.
Yeah, just a general check.
That's an 8.
You go to try and proceed to heat up the wok, but your magic doesn't seem to be strong enough to heat it up properly.
Well,
I know I have a better spell for this.
must be part of the hangover.
I do actually have a better spell for this. I suppose I tried to use Flame Bolt at first.
Yeah, you would have used like minor flame bolts to try and heat the bottom of the wok, but unsuccessfully.
I got a better spell.
Which is
Flame Sphere.
Oh, Jesus.
inside a wooden house.
No, I'm
Which is
going
just been built?
outside to use.
Okay.
I'm going
All right,
outside
barbecue.
the garden.
All right, going out into the backyard. Today, I believe Yeah, today is a sunny day. Nice and sunny outside.
Good.
Nothing really getting involved. There aren't that many clouds either. It's quite a nice day. If it wasn't for the previous events that have transpired in the past few days. The out part of this backyard seems to be fairly untended. It's mostly overgrown weeds and vines, a few random wildflowers here and there, but obviously you don't care about those, you could burn them. Casting Flame Sphere, I would like you to make me a cooking utensils check again, please. There you go. With the flame sphere in place, you hold the wok over the top. With your resistance to fire damage, you are unaffected by the heat of it. If any of the rest of you tried to hold this thing, you'd burn yourself. And as you hold this in place, you begin to hold it there, and you place it down on a small portion where there's like a few bits of rubble. And you proceed to go back inside, chop up the meat, chop up the apples, and you proceed to take them, slice them into small pieces, and you begin to garnish them with general seasonings that you have. Taking what you can, you begin to season the meat with its small cubes. You begin to cook it up into some kind of like an apple meat dish that's mixed between savory and sweet flavors as you begin to set it up. This wakes up the rest of you as the smell wafts in through the window. Especially you, Bhold. You have a throbbing headache, by the way.
Bhold just stands up, eyes closed, and sleepwalks all the way down.
Okay.
Following the smell.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw, please, as you go down the stairs. The rest of you are watching this, by the way.
Is this with advantage because of danger?
No, because that requires you to see what you're doing.
Oh shit.
Hey, doesn't matter. Almost skillfully, you watch... Okay, Sasha and Queglod, you see this as you wake up. You watch as Bhold just slides out of bed, proceeds to walk over. His eyes are still closed. He turns round almost with like muscle memory. Just doesn't take a step, he just tips forward, and skillfully his head lands on the next step before he flips over and lands on his feet on the bottom of the stairs. Just proceeds to walk out through the kitchen.
Oh, jeez.
Like a dainty ballerina.
Feel like,
Exactly.
how has he survived this long, Queglod? How?
Oh, this is a well-practiced maneuver, Sasha.
The look on Sasha's face is, you're bullshitting me. We both know you're bullshitting me. Just don't. Just like, Wait, no. I've got it. You know that picture of Keanu Reeves looking just done with the world? It's that.
So, while you two are sitting up in bed, you can smell this smell. It is a delightful smell. The seasoned red meat, the tender cookingness of it seems to be reaching your nose. Ghaakt, while you're out in the garden, you're watching this and you're kind of just sitting and waiting. You've pulled a few logs into place to set up a basic bench line to almost sit in place as you watch as Bhold.
I'm serenading the morning magpies.
Yeah. By the way, it's going the other way. This is going from the bottom floor
right.
up.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to head down as well.
Yeah.
How'd you get on the roof? Get down from there.
Yeah. You watch as Bhold proceeds to just, with his eyes closed, walks out and just stops behind Malcom. Make
He's
a
just floating,
make a stealth
following the
check for me,
trail.
Bhold.
Do I get the roll perception?
Yeah. Make a perception. While you're busy cooking.
That's a 13 for me.
You notice him come out. You hear him trudging through the grass as he walks up behind you. He just stops.
Well, that's one awake.
The other two proceed to leave the kitchen shortly after.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning, all.
I'm just gonna kind of like elbow Bhold in the stomach.
Make a strength check.
Elbow Behold, metallic abs.
Yeah, with Behold's metallic abs. Let's see if this hits.
Oh no, he has a breastplate now.
This would be versus your unarmored AC. You wouldn't
Went
have.
to sleep
None
with
of
that
you.
on?
None of you would have your armor
Yeah.
on. Otherwise, you suffer points of exhaustion.
He hits. That's a 15.
That
for
hits.
my-
There's just
Oh,
a
I'm sorry. Sasha is upstairs putting on armor.
armor. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, I'm hungry, so I'm going for.
Even
Food
with
being
the
cooked.
-1 to your strength check, that still hits. You do a very swift jab to the center of Behold's stomach. Behold, your eyes open. You're not wheezed as such, but you feel a throbbing headache as your eyes kind of blink open with the sunlight now.
You awake now?
Where am I?
You're in the garden of the house.
What's that smell?
It's the food I'm making.
Oh, Behold, want. Give.
When it's done, you can have some. Is it done
I
yet?
want now.
At this point, it would be coming to the finale of it. You've proceeded. You got the initial heat up with the flame sphere, and you've just been using firebolts to try and keep it warm this entire time.
Okay, I'm gonna
At this
stand close by as well, so I don't miss out.
At this point, you finish. You finish making it. It's currently in the wok. You don't exactly have any bowls or plates, as far as you're aware. I believe there are a bunch of mess kits in the bag of holding, which you just have.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Just toss it up. I'll catch it like a dog.
No.
With the mess kits in your bag of holding, you pull them out. You've got some basic metal trays. You've got knives and forks for each. I believe, Behold, you discarded yours because you didn't use those. So you just have a metal tray.
What's this?
The mess kits, you didn't want to use it because you believed that eating with your hands was stronger, which, granted, it is. It's so much better. Anyway, you proceed to take the food, you lay it out on each of the plates. It looks and smells delicious. At this point, Sasha, you finish up. You're dressing yourself. You're wearing your plate armors and all the heavy scarf around the front of your face.
Well, let's go to food. And then just... Oh, there's a wall of Behold in front of me. Well,
You can walk around. You can go both ways. Doesn't matter.
oh, effort.
Well, you serve up the food. The food itself is absolutely superb. It's been a while since you've tasted something like this, in quite a long time, especially you, Ghaakt, who's been on the road living off of rations and the food for commoners and worse. This is definitely a good timed relieving of that.
Best catering I've had in months.
Well, I am the cook for the party, so better cook what? Good.
Okay. With you eating your food, you proceed to be woken up a bit more. You've still got a little bit of a headache, Behold, but it's just subsiding at this point, so it's nothing major. Anyway, it's not getting in the way of your mental thoughts anyway. And
Food.
as
I don't like what you're hinting at there.
as you're all kind of compiling yourselves, you finish up your meal. You clean the dishes for what you basically can. You clean up your wok and all the mess kits and put them all back in the bag of holding.
Yes.
What would you like to do?
So, what are our plans on the free upgrade that we're gonna be getting?
Well, I'd like to build a tavern. And I thought...
Go ahead.
And I thought we might call something that we could commemorate Chronicle with.
I'm sure it's what he would have wanted.
Did you have anything particular in mind?
Well, there are a few things I hadn't thought. Chronicle's memory. The Shining Shalia, or some other suitably imposing and impressive word or other. Just something to remember him by. You know, other than your bird that, sucked on his soul or something.
That's not quite what happened, but
Look,
I see
wait
your
until
point.
until you actually tell us what happened. I'm saying your bird sucked his soul and turned into a fucking rock. the big bird thingy.
Well, I suppose you'll be saying that for a while then. But regardless, adopting his symbol mightn't be the worst idea. It's not a bad way to remember him. He wouldn't want anything too direct, obviously. He was very much a man of secrets. He much preferred to live in the shadow.
So, a tavern then. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't know the guy at all. Like, negative amount I knew about him, but it seemed more like a library type, you know?
Wait, can we have a library? Is that a thing we can do?
It's under extras. It would be a personal library only, but...
Yes, obviously we don't have capacity to challenge the library already in the city, but
They
a more
have
specialized collection, perhaps.
I have books, specialized collection. Yes.
Didn't me and Sudz get like a fuck ton of books? Oh yeah, we sold them.
We sold most of them, but we kept the bad ones.
You kept the smart, yeah.
Oh god.
Ah, I see. He was that kind of guy, huh?
Yeah, Bhold still has the gnome and
It's always the quiet ones, I tell you what.
the Goliath and the Dwarf love story.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh.
Hold on, let me get up my notes. I have these all written down.
So it's like Halfling and Goliath.
I think it was.
It may have been Halfling Orc.
Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about... There was the Goliath and the Halfling.
Yep.
And then I had the rest.
You had the Orc and the Princess, Malcolm.
I also had the Tiefling and human.
And the Merchant, yep.
I'm noticing a theme with all this smut.
There's the Hobgoblin and the Gnome, the Tabaxi's Day Off, Sharing the Flesh, Pit of Lust,
Oh, sharing.
Oath
I
of
don't
Love.
like the name. I don't like the sound of that second to last one.
Would you like to read it? I have it in the bag.
No, that's going to corners. Even I don't tread.
There was the Construction of Genius, which is the Gnome and the Construct. There was...
I mean, that's just the whole industry right there.
There was Forbidden Blood, which was the Dwarf and the Vampire. And then
Pretty basic.
And then there was the unnamed one, which was the Illithid and the Lord.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Anybody want to read it?
Probably not.
Opening night, a dramatic reading of Bad Smut.
So,
We found what we're paying Ghaakt in. It's these smutty novels.
Yes.
Does that sound like something Ghaakt would be interested in? Oh god.
I'll peruse the selection later.
anyway. So, what is the upgrade of choice that you guys would like to do?
I put my vote towards the tavern.
Potion factory sounds super useful. A tavern for potions, maybe even.
There are a lot of issues of having a tavern built beyond just the issues with constructing the space. We need to hire people as well.
That's true. But of course, it's not like we have to do it all immediately.
Yeah.
We could just wait
No,
a
true.
couple of weeks and, you know, one.
Are we
we could
planning
wait
to be?
until.
Are we still planning to be in town in a couple?
Honestly, I don't think so, but I'm thinking we might set up something with Rohal. After all, we could see about whether she'd want us to turn this place into an entrance into the Undercity. Might make for a little. Might certainly would bring us more custom.
All right. From what I know, do I think she would be interested in something like that?
She might not necessarily turn down the idea. She would obviously still have to have you guys pay for it. She probably wouldn't turn down the idea because of how much work you've put into this kind of thing. But she'd probably need to have you post extra positions, such as set up a guard post with specialized guards from the Undercity, which you'd have to hire.
Well, we can be certain this is something that she does in theory want, because she already has some.
So, what have we got so far? We got two who say tavern, one who says potions. Queglod and Bhold. Any opinions?
A fighting pit.
Again,
Behold,
requires...
that's illegal.
No, it's not. Fighting
What
pits...
is this if it's unlicensed?
Yeah, I know, but that's why you pay for the license as well as the fighting pit when you make it.
Exactly, and we don't have the money
But
for
to
that.
get the fighting pit, you need to have a healer team, a healing team. You also need the basement. So, and the basement and that additional stuff generally comes with the tavern if you wanted to go for the pushing of that.
Do you think Behold would understand all that?
No.
I don't
Behold
expect him to at all.
And
What are you talking
not
about?
enough apples.
Oh.
But the first step to getting a fighting pit is getting a tavern.
Oh, Behold vote tavern.
Okay, 3 for tavern. Anybody object to tavern?
I don't object to it, no.
Okay. Your first upgrade assigned is tavern. So, that is paid for in full, however you must spend part of the day working on it.
Alright, but I get to be the live music.
You have to work as well.
Yeah, I know. But also I get to play, I get to use this as a free venue for my tour.
You need a stage for that.
It's fine. You can just stand on the table.
I will work on the stage.
You need an inn or a tavern to make the stage.
Ugh.
So we're getting a tavern to make this thing.
Just stand on a table.
I will just busk in the corner.
No, wait, no.
You can't kick me out, I live here.
You can set up a chair and stuff.
We can
but
kick you out if we like.
you can set up. You can just like set up in the tavern and on a seat or whatever, but you probably won't get as much from it as you would a stage. Stage also means you can hire other instrument individuals and other building bards into your tavern if you wish.
But we have other instruments.
Exactly.
We don't need to hire other
You're
instruments.
already a band.
Again, as I said, you're not always going to be here.
Well,
How long are we leaving actually after this?
It was rather the
Maybe a month.
Yeah, we're
upkeep was
probably
the
gonna
part
be
I was
out for a
worried
month,
about.
So
Yeah, I thought the plan was to leave relatively soon, but we can stay in town if anyone needs.
Well, I thought our plans changed with the whole catastrophe. We thought we might stay around just until things are mostly rebuilt.
Perhaps.
Okay. So at this
Well, I
point,
suppose,
you've all moved
yes, I
back
suppose a
inside.
tavern
I see.
then might certainly help with that.
yeah, sure.
with you moving back in, leading out into what would be a separate area. This being the main living area, there is a set of double doors which will then become the extension into a tavern and so on. Once you get that, you hear a "Hey, anyone in there?
Yeah.
Open the
Come on
door
in."
then."
Alright, we're opening the door then.
Okay. You see the head construction dwarf there with a group of other dwarves behind him. So, you've made your decision on what you want?
Are these the guys from yesterday?
Yeah. They seem to have recovered well from the hangover.
I believe we have, right, guys?
Uh-huh.
Alright. We decided to go with the tavern.
Excellent choice. Alright, boys, you know what to do. And you a lot of helping, so come on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I have hammer proficiency.
I would
I'll be
like a
great.
strength check from everyone, except for Elsyan, who has gone MIA for this conveniently. You're now all starting to realise why he is on a walk.
23.
Oh wait, hang on.
Alright.
14.
15.
Wait.
11.
Yeah, 14.
Okay, that comes to a grand total of 1.
Queglod over there, you're lifting like tiny bits of timber and so on, you're just carrying them around, and then one of the dwarves just walks over and goes, "Are you sure you want to help with this?"
Queglod, carry this cup of tiny novelty umbrellas.
Can do.
Just passes you a mug of tiny novelty umbrellas.
Careful, Queglod.
Does she
Careful.
struggle with it?
One at a time.
Not
Do one at a
quite.
time if it's more comfortable for you.
Yeah, can Queglod be more sort of like directing people?
Yeah.
Yes. You're what's the word? You're delegating. You're in a managerial.
Yes, exactly.
position.
Oh, which means he spends most of his time on his phone.
Yeah, you spent your time telling them where to go and what to do, what pieces to do. You're kind of like acting like the assistant to all this.
I imagine the actual construction workers are very annoyed with you. Like, yes, we know this is our job.
Oh, she's mainly
Well,
commanding
and
you
this
guys.
is my job, so
Yeah.
While this is all going on, there's while this is all taking place, the doors open. You see what looks to be a relatively young male human, some kind of messenger, kind of rushes up to the door. Currently has what looks to be a large satchel at his side, holding a letter, and just goes, "Message for Malcom. I'm told this is where he is."
Yeah, that's me as I go up to him.
You sent a letter to the High Governor, and he's got a reply. And he passes you a letter.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna read it.
It reads that we will be holding an announcement tomorrow evening. We don't want it to be too close to the festival, and people are fairly busy. We want things to calm down, and we give the town criers a chance to let people know the announcement is taking place.
Alright then.
So, over the course of the remainder of the day, as you're helping with the construction of this, it goes from early morning into about late afternoon, about 4 o'clock-ish. And by this time, the tavern is built. All of the dwarves, they took different breaks during the middle of it. They took short rests where they were drinking ale and having tea or whatever. Typical builders. And then eventually you have the tavern finished. At which point the dwarves will turn around and go, "Alright, so job's done. We'll get your furniture brought up here. It's hanging out nearby in a storage yard. We'll be able to bring it through. If you got anything else you want built, put it on the list and we'll work on that." Alright, so with that upgrade being free, did you want to invest anything else?
I want to see some. real quick.
You have a relatively large tavern. With the way it's currently laid out, are you going for quality or quantity, or a mix?
When you say quality, do you mean like as in is it a nut?
Quality, I mean, is you'll have nice tables, nice chairs, more restaurant style. Quantity will mean you'll be able to fit them more sardine style. but there'll still be accommodation worthy quality.
I think
but...
if we're looking to be a big tavern, we should look on like actually expanding.
No, but I think what we should go for is sort of like try like decent quality, decent size, but not really like
a mix.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah. Okay
like...
then.
Okay.
But yeah, I do think we should try and, if we're going to try and make a business out of this, get established as more of a classy establishment.
But if we're gonna be leaving for a while, like maybe we should hold off on like spending too much on it.
Well, I think let's get it up and running before we leave.
Yeah, and then
so that we can work out all the kinks before we leave it in the hands of whomever, really.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
we don't necessarily need to spend a lot today, however.
Okay.
No.
So with that in mind, looking through what kind of furniture and chairs and tables you go with what looks to be a generally nice, sturdy wood table, relatively nice top. You could probably put quite a few like tablecloths over just to keep the mess to a minimal. The chairs you choose are sturdy as well, and they're relatively nice. You have corner units and different cornered off areas that kind of fit. The bar stools you choose are nice and sturdy. They've got a soft top to them, so they're not uncomfortable to sit on. But you can pack quite a few of them in there. You get probably the better part of 6 to 7 tables total, and you have probably anywhere upwards of 40 chairs or so. And you begin to use large tables for maximum setup. You've got small seating corners where people can set up, as well as some extra space if you wanted to expand further, leaving room for things such as the stage and so on. If you wish to expand the tavern further, that would be another 250 gold. And that will give you more room. It's up to you.
I'm not against expansion, but I think we should start off small, get this place up and running, not basic basically, but as in to a standard we're happy with. Where it's going to be able to sustain itself, and then we can sort of and put anything that we think is important in, and then we can deal with it essentially.
Okay. So, if you have any other upgrades, you're welcome to put forward what you would like, along with the gold that goes with that. You receive your furniture, you receive your proper bed setups, you receive your tables, your chairs, your furniture. You set it up out back as you see fit. You order that around Queglod and you set it up in a relatively nice and comfortable manner. The kitchen is fitted with the correct utensil units. And does anybody explore the back room?
Sasha does, out of sheer curiosity.
Okay. Looking into the back room, it seems to lead up into an L-shaped corridor. It is blank all the way down the rest of this area. You suspect that this is left in place for if you want to get a basement, so this would lead down into it.
Oh.
If you wanted to have other entrances to the basement, you can do so as well, but this is a designated area to it. And
does this mean that this sort of yeah.
Yeah. And this area here, leading into this, is a storage room. There seem to be a few empty crates, a few empty barrels to fit what you want to put in here. There also seems to be a wine rack that's completely empty in place.
Okay.
So the back area's got what you want. With the tavern now in place, you have an expansion leading forward. Oh, whoops. Wrong kind of line. I'll get rid of this top area for now.
Is this and this the same?
Yeah, it is. It's just that that was the top floor included. This is that's the bottom floor with that leading upwards. So, leading into it, you now have what would be a tavern leading to near enough the edges of your domain. Somewhere along the lines of this currently. You can expand it forward or you can expand it back. That is entirely up to you. And then you'd have, in here, you would have bits and pieces set up.
Yeah, if we want large-scale expansions, is there the possibility of buying new land?
Yes, there is.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there is the places next door, because this is quite a... It's not necessarily a run-down portion of this, But the places next door seem to be mostly old forges that have been put out of use.
Okay.
Where the industry has kind of come to a simmer or a down low. Malcolm, you know the reason to this being that the mines were abandoned a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, which is why we were asked to go
deal with it. But currently,
Yeah.
they've either dispatched a team or something's going on, and the blacksmiths are currently leading it to a simmer. A few of them have gone out of business, and in the surrounding area is kind of a little bit more. It's a little bit more abandoned. There are still forges and the popular blacksmiths that are close to the high street, not that far off, and you're not that much of a walk from the main road out of the city. So,
Okay.
you're in an optimal location where you can access. You can basically acquire individuals from the Dwarven and the blacksmithing district, so they can come here because you would be the closest tavern then, and the high street because it's a relatively short walk.
Okay.
So you're in a good location. You can buy more land. Land costs 1,000 gold pieces per.
Yeah. Okay. Perhaps it would be. It mightn't be a bad idea then to try and get this place up and running by the time business resumes in this area.
Yes.
Somewhere like this for people to go after work would be a welcome resource once they get back to work.
What would you like to call the place also? I heard the Shining Shalia earlier.
Okay, that one's
Do you want me
too-
to put
too
that
much.
in as a temporary name, or...?
I actually had a thought. The Shalia's Secret.
Not bad.
It kind of fits, but it's the best I could come up with short notice. But
Okay. So
We
Shalia's
could certainly
Secret,
put
you
that
can
in
change
for,
this at a later date,
like-
yeah.
We won't get signs made up just yet, but
No. This is a building up to thing. So you've got your furniture, you've got it all laid out, you've got it set up. As the end of the day comes to a close and your furniture is brought in, Malcolm, you've made food throughout the day. Give me a cook utensils check with advantage, just today. Now that you've got a proper kitchen out back. Yeah, easy enough. You make some delicious food. You go out and you do a little bit of shopping around town. You spend about a gold's worth. So you want to take 1 gold out of the bag of holding. You buy some basic foods, bring it back, cook up a good meal. The dwarves enjoy it as well, and they thank you for the meal and the drinks and so on. And it seems that they're quite interested to hear of this tavern being set up. Quite a few of them seem to be interested in what's taking place and knowing that you guys are the occupants.
Sweet. They could bring friends.
With this in mind, was there anything else any of you wish to do before the end of the day?
Do we have? Well, I guess do we have booze?
Not yet. You need
Ah.
you need to have the supplies for that.
I might
You can put in an order for
spend
supplies.
spend the rest of the evening or whatever trying to run some like basic numbers for how
how to get this
sort
place
of,
up and running?
yeah, like what, or once it is running, what sort of like expected profit we can be looking at,
Okay.
like how much staff we're likely to need, how many people we can have in here at any one time,
With
etc.,
this,
etc.
if you're not serving food, 1 bar hand and the barkeeper should probably be enough to run the entire tavern itself. Tavern's not massively big, it's big enough to accommodate for quite a few people. So 1 barkeeper and 1 bar hand should be fine. If you've got a rowdy crowd coming in, or troublemakers potentially making their way in, you'll need 1 or 2 guards to try and assist with that.
We have Bhold for now.
For now, yes. So that would cost you. So with assuming 1 guard, 1 barkeeper, and 1 bar hand, that would run you 35 GP a week. In terms of how much you're making, including the supplies required for that, which is 12 GP, so that would be 47 GP a week. In terms of what you'd be making, tavern this size, initially it'll be a slow crawl, so the number of drinks had in a week will probably be less than required, so you'd probably only make 25 GP in a week or so. But as time goes on, you'd probably be able to get anywhere from 75 gold upwards if people like the service and they're willing to tip or buy multiple drinks and generally have good patrons. Because of its location, it's quite optimal, and you can expand into further territory and make a larger tavern as time goes on. So, going forward, you'd be able to get quite a bit. If you wanted to cheap out on a guard for now, you could, and your barkeeper can multitask into anything other than being another bar hand. So if you have a strong barkeeper, your barkeeper can be a guard.
Unless, of course, your barkeeper is a wizard, in which case there's a spell for that.
Exactly. So the
to
profit
hire
margin on the
another
tavern will depend on who
barkeeper.
you get in and what kind of service you provide. With the higher quality, you could probably push a little bit higher than average for like a posh pub. So you might be able to stretch 75 to 100 GP a week. At a push.
So it provided we leave enough like startup capital, it could be up and running and be self-sustaining.
Yeah. With what you'd probably need, if you left it and you assumed that the dwarves are willing to kind of share their willingness, you'd be looking at the first 3 weeks being in deficit and you'd be making none. Next week or two would then be break even, and then everything from there on would be profit. Provided you get consistency and no issues in the town.
I think we could probably manage it, and if we're not in the town, there won't be as many issues in the town.
I mean, we certainly have enough gold to handle any startup costs.
It would also be a little bit... At this time of year, it's getting to the point where winter's closing in. During this time, suppliers get a little bit less for stock, so the stock prices might rise slightly. So the supplies. So we go up by maybe 1 or 2 gold. But that shouldn't be an issue. That's negligible and can be discounted for the most part. So.
Yes, is getting a freezer room put in a possibility?
Yeah.
In the basement or somewhere maybe.
Yeah, if you had that put in. Yeah, wizard can do an enchantment, set that up so that there'd be a cold room. If you wanted a pantry, pantry would include basic supplies. So it would have mediocre temperatures for that kind of thing, for storing salted meats and that kind of thing. If you wanted to go for completely raw meat and just have it fresh cold, then you'd have to have someone set up a cold room for that, and the cold room would cost you probably about 1,000 gold pieces to get set up.
A cold room isn't necessarily our immediate priority, but
it's a possibility. Yeah,
it could be helpful in the future for if supplies ever get low for a certain.
Or we need to store bodies.
Interrogation.
We can make a big event out of it.
Oh, we can do like the meat hook thing.
Yeah.
Now with fresh food.
I don't like where this is going, guys.
Mystery meat.
Yeah.
As long as we don't serve orc, it'll be okay.
What everyone else was saying was combining into something truly horrific.
Indeed. So, with that in mind, none of you really doing anything else. Queglod runs the numbers through, and it looks like you can probably push a profit in 2 to 3 weeks. You'd probably need to advertise if you want to push it further. Malcom, you are very much aware that there is a perfect opportunity to advertise tomorrow if you want to try.
Sasha!
Yes?
Advertise. Tomorrow. Big stuff going on. Lots of people, maybe.
I mean, we haven't got this place set up yet, so I'll probably say...
We haven't even finalised the name yet.
Queglod, how long do you think it would take for us to get this place up and running?
Well... Let's see, shall we? We've got the we've got the basics of the construction nailed down already. Have we got furniture yet?
Yeah,
Is that all sorted? Okay.
You had all the furniture brought in the evening when you were crunching numbers because you can't lift.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, so we can. We'll need time to stock the bar, obviously.
You could also have house extensions.
You'd be more of an
gold
expert on how long that would take.
Well, given
Speaking
that,
of,
what
Sasha,
type of yes?
Do you have any connections to any breweries of any sort?
I
I know your
mean,
family was in the business.
yeah. Chris, wanna...
You'd know of a few families, but that would come under imports.
Right,
So
none in this...
under
none-
imports for drinks, Dwarven Dragon Ale, which would be the Empire's own, you could contact one of the breweries and maybe, at a stretch, potentially get a little bit of discount.
Hmm.
But
Or
otherwise,
at
that
the
would
very
come under
least,
imports, which
at the
requires a
very
manager.
least, at the very least, like a stable supply, though. So that's something. I've got no one in the city, so that probably wouldn't be the most helpful.
No
I can
matter.
probably organize good supply lines to come through, like.
That would be
From-
helpful.
So if there's any like of the less common alcohols around, I can get them. I probably have a few family members, not direct family members, obviously, but I know some dwarves. You know
Okay.
how it is.
Okay. Yes, well, that would be quite helpful. But yes, as I say, it will take time to get the bar stocked. If we want to be offering food as well, that's going to take longer, and we need to set up kitchen. Regardless, we're going to need to look at who's going to be tending the bar, and perhaps having.
Perhaps some. We can always
Perhaps
do
some other staff
interviews
as well, yes. Yes, well, that will. And this is all short term as well. In the long term, before we leave, we'll need to set up stricter infrastructure, have someone in charge of running the place if we were away for long periods of time. They'd also need the authority to hire people or lay off staff as needed, so we'll need to be careful who we choose. You mentioned speaking to Rohal, I believe.
Yes, I was thinking. Rohal's already set up one entrance into the Undercity inside a bar. Why not another one? It might be a good way for us to connect us to the Undercity, and also let us might give us a little bit of help in the running the place front.
Yes.
If some of Rohal's people can look after the place when we're off doing our business.
Obviously, Rohal wouldn't want to do things personally, but
obviously,
you may have people that specialise in this sort of thing.
You know what? Honestly, I'm tempted to just ask if Abod wants to run the place, because that would be hilarious.
We could ask.
Chris, do you want to forget the loo?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, I'll be back shortly.
So,
is that open to everyone, or is that a?
yeah. At this
Oh,
point,
okay.
if you guys want to take a quick break, you guys go and do so. I will stay open for the streams, and I'll basically explain what happens. So, while this all goes on, the party proceeds to take their furniture, place it around the room, and set up a lovely living area for themselves. They've got carpets, lovely sofas, all reds and greens. They've got a nice few interior decorations in place. They get the curtains down. They get the old curtains down. They set up new ones, and they fill the place with generally what they want.
Is it okay?
Hmm?
Sorry. I was just wondering if it was alright if I grabbed some paper while I went out and bought stuff for food and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Just run that by 1 silver. 1 silver per 10 parchment, I think.
Alright, so I'll do 2.
So, as with all of that taking place, the tavern is set up in a relatively good, within a relatively good position. Behold, your beard, on mention from what you've been saying, your beard is growing relatively nice. It's a nice clean shave, or not clean shave, clean cut, linking in with what would be the base of your ears, kind of going from the base of your jawline, curving down into what seems to be a slight build-up on the chin. Your hair in question, what color would you say it would be?
Beard?
Yeah.
Probably dark gray.
Okay. So you have a dark grey beard going all the way down from your general jawline, leading down to your chin. Where at the chin, the curve around the chin itself, on either side, on the left or right, just where the chin kind of ends, you have what looks to be white stripes leading down into a little bit of a thicker little bit below your face, or on your neck rather. The mustache is beginning to grow in a little bit if you want it to, otherwise you'd be shaving that off. But it will take some time for that to grow in. That seems to be a lot harder to grow in for you. As you're tending to your beard, the tavern is set up well. The counter is looking good. You've got barrels set up. You've got general storage area set up for when you wish to store when you're storing things like beers and wines and so on. You have what looks to be some basic rooms set up along the side in preparation for if you want to have people like guards or your barkeeper or anything to have a place to house themselves. Some basic rooms for them. You have the place set up. The individuals are waiting on you for a name and a sign, which you will eventually sort out and deal with. Till then, the party proceeds to go back to sleep after having a lovely meal. Wake up in the morning. Elsyan has returned. Elsyan is currently awake, and he's currently wandering downstairs, observing everything. He's muttering under his breath, and from what you can hear, Malcom is the first one awake this time. He seems to be saying it's a little bit tacky, but that's Elsyan for you. He missed a large portion of the interior decorating, so he hasn't got much choice. He proceeds to head into the tavern and begins to look around as you wake up. You move down, you make breakfast, everyone awakes, and then you proceed about your day. So, who have we currently got here still?
I'm here.
I am here.
I'm here.
So Simon's the only one who still has to get back. So, with you all waking up, Elsyan's currently in the front tavern area. He says, "It's not bad. I must say, have we got a name for it yet, though?"
I have no issues with the name that you came up with, Sasha.
Well, I was thinking the Shalier's Secret might be a bit of an homage to our fallen comrade.
It works for me, but it's I would say you have a little bit more say in this, seeing as with it being dedicated to Chronicle and all.
Hey, sorry, I'm back.
That's fine.
Yes, Queglod, what do you think about the name? If you were the one who knew Chronicle best, what would you think would be an appropriate?
Okay, this is Bhold says it's blowing up, but the Dawn Chronicles.
God.
No, that definitely sounds like a children's book series.
While you're having this discussion, it is early morning. Your dwarf friends, only this time because you did you put in an order yesterday for what you wanted next? Or have you said
I
you
don't
don't
believe
want
so.
anything yet?
They were.
No,
We're still discussing the logistics.
Okay. So only your dwarf friend returns today, knocks on the door. This time to the tavern. You hear it echoing throughout the establishment, with it being completely empty at the moment.
Go. I'm going to open the
Sasha,
door.
Okay. You both go to open the door. You open it up, and it's your friend. All right. Did you want anything built today, or do you want me to come back when you send a message?
I mean, we're still working out. I think.
Yes, I think it's best if we let you know when we come to a decision.
Alright, well, you got the box outside if you need to send anything. And obviously we're waiting on the sign and all that. We'll do that when you get round to it. Other than that, there's, I don't know if you've heard, but there's an announcement in the center of town, so I'd say you want to go to that and give that a check.
Yeah, we were planning on heading there.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say with like my advertising is, the Shalier's Secret Tavern opens within the month.
Okay.
Pretty confident about that time window, huh?
It's better than within the week.
True.
Yes, while my only thought was while we're still in the process of getting things up and running, perhaps we can use this establishment to try and help with the rebuilding of the city.
How so?
Well, there's limits to what we can do at the moment, but we can certainly use it as somewhere for workmen to rest, for one thing.
So
I certainly like that idea. I think most important thing is we need to get stuff imported in that people can actually drink.
let's see. I can possibly try and talk to Gen, see if he's got any in-city contacts to get supplies from.
That's a good idea. Right.
Also, this is on the upper city, right? Not under city.
Yes. This is on the upper city. So you're on the surface.
Would it be possible later on to connect it to the undercity?
That's what Sasha's going to be going and trying to figure out, as well as doing general advertisement.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
If
like.
you guys are advertising, we kind of have to make drinks free if you're opening it.
We're not opening just yet. Don't worry.
I mean, they'll know what to expect. It's booze.
I mean, yeah, if you're gonna advertise and people come.
I'm thinking before we open up the place, maybe I could brush the dust off the old brewing supplies.
Yeah, I think you can.
Make a Smashfist original.
Okay. What
Alright.
location would you be using for that?
I'll clean out the bathtub.
I think
The basement.
You haven't
like
got one yet.
how many artisan stations can we feasibly connect onto this place?
Probably about 4 or 5 without needing to go into extending land.
I think like an alchemy, a brewery, and a kitchen or cooking sort of place.
The kitchen, the kitchen doubles up as a cooking station.
Yeah, the kitchen doubles as a cooking station. If we get that lot done at least we get that'll do for when we're got it fully up and running. For now, the alchemy station is good for you making potions, and the brewing station could mean I could make up some stuff that we wanna get that might attract some of the dwarven clientele. I say this out of earshot of Elsyan, obviously.
Obviously.
Passive perception.
Yeah, his passive perception is pretty high, but he doesn't particularly care. This place is mostly dwarves, so he's a little bit disgusted, but yeah, it's fine. The establishment is well enough that he could possibly get a few elves in here.
Yes, artisan stations certainly does sound like a good idea.
Right. I say once we've worked out our budget, we should see about getting that put in as orders. As it stands right now, I'm going to go talk to Rohal and talk to any and do a little bit of advertisement and supply check and supply running, shall we say. See if I can't organize anything that would be helpful once we're up and running.
All right then.
I'll help with that advertising campaign of yours.
Excellent, Ghaakt. I was just about to ask if you'd like to lend your bardly talents to it.
Oh yeah, I mean always. I'll start writing up a jingle for you right now.
About how long until the gathering today?
You probably have the better part of maybe 6 hours.
Okay.
Actually, no, but it was an evening, so you probably have 10.
Ooh.
So during this day, Harlan, where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm initially heading to Rohal.
Okay. Anybody going with?
I'm gonna do the thing I asked you, Chris. Try and find something like that.
The thing you...
I don't think
Oh, I
anyone's
see.
going
Discord,
Yeah,
yes.
no, I know what you mean. Okay, so yeah, I'll have you... So, Behold, you do a survival check. Queglod, what are you doing?
I'm not sure what it's doing.
If like, I had two options. I wouldn't be against you being there because you're the numbers. You're the numbers gal in this this ragtag, apparently now restaurateurs
Okay.
group. But at the same time, if you want to like if someone wants to go try and check out the Church of Light to see what's going on there at the moment, I think I'd or just helping around the city, I would suggest that someone do that.
I'm
We
sure
want
the,
our...
I'm sure the city officials will be all over the Church of Light by now.
Mm.
I can certainly join you on your thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
If that would be
Yeah.
helpful for you.
Sure.
Oh, most definitely.
All right.
I'm going
then.
to... Let's
Mine is yours, I'll add it to mine.
Now, come here is Queglod. I'm going to be liberally using thaumaturgy. Does I do I have to like actually do a spiel, or can I just say as we go about places, if I like, I'll just occasionally call out about the new tavern coming in, up and coming in the next month or so.
Okay. In which case, give me persuasion checks. I'd like you to
40?
give me 2
How
for
many?
now.
2 for the moment, okay. Yeah. I'll stop doing this once we're like once we're like inside the Undercity.
Okay.
15 and 18.
Okay, both of which are good. You proceed to walk around town. As you do so, you shout out a few things, kind of acting similar to one of the town criers. There are a few town criers going about. You kind of tag your message almost onto what he's saying as he's going around.
Oh wait, no, shit. Can I use my thaumaturgy to make it sound like the town crier's voice just after he finishes?
Can thaumaturgy do that? I thought it only makes your voice louder.
I
think it's minor illusion that allows you to throw your voice. So
what it's let me. Yeah, you can boom your voice as loud and all, but you can also create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range, such as like a rumble of thunder or a cry of raven or whispers or something.
yeah.
So
with the specific detail of it, I think that would probably require more of an illusion type magic.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, I'll just sort of tack it on at the end.
You tack it on the end. A few people kind of take notice to it. There are a few like smiles from other individuals, seeing that they either think you're going to be funny or they think it might be a good idea. Town crier gets a little bit annoyed and proceeds to go around ringing his bell again and proceeding to shout a few things. The second time you do it, you're nearing the center of town. You're speaking to or you're walking around through some of the locals. Obel gives you a nod. You shout that out. Obel gives very much a nod and goes about it. And you get the sense that throughout the day he's going to continue speaking about it.
To add a bit of pizzazz to the whole thing, I set my torch on fire, and then with the fact I can use more than one of them at once, I'm going to be using it to change the color of the flames on my hammer constantly. It's a sort of like, hey, look at me, I'm drawing attention to myself.
Okay.
Congratulations, you invented the sparkler stick.
In which case,
Yes.
I would like you to re-roll this one, please. What's the new total?
12.
Okay. With the 12, a few people were a little bit nervous when you draw your weapon and start making more of a magical scene. A few guards kind of get a little bit nervous about it, and you quickly read the situation and put your weapon away. It seems drawing your weapon and trying to do something fancy is not the right idea in a town that's just been attacked.
Right.
2 days ago.
Right. What do I have that's fire, but not deadly?
I'd say by this point you reach the tavern.
Yeah.
You reach the tavern, you head into the Undercity, and you go to meet Rohal.
Well, Queglod, we've done some good research. Don't do anything that could even mildly be construed as violent when the city's just been attacked. That's
I
good
suppose it makes sense
information.
that people are still on edge.
Yes. That means that we're going to push for like a calming atmosphere, I think, in the tavern. Maybe see if we can get some of those sofas I've heard so much about.
I'll learn to play some smooth jazz.
All of the smooth jazz.
Okay. So as you head down to the Undercity once again. You pass by your old rooms, them no longer needing to be used. They're still technically classed as yours if you wish to return there. And you head through the Under Tavern, past your rooms and into the main hallway. As you reach the main central plaza, you see that quite a lot of individuals are currently busy with work. Not so much commerce. There seems to be work where individuals seem to be taking quests and that kind of thing, or doing jobs to help out, performing bounties, that kind of thing. A large portion of individuals also seem to be bringing in troublemakers. They seem to be taking them to the jail on here. With that, you see that Tiark is currently standing in the center of the plaza on top of some kind of platform, and he seems to be giving commands to people, pointing out to them, and not saying a word, but points out to them, and you see that they kind of give a nod and they walk off and do their thing, seemingly commanding each individual person and doing whatever it is that they need to be doing. To you, Ghaakt, this is a new sight. You see what looks to be a middle-aged elven individual with currently what looks to be a basic kind of leather helmet, but it has what looks to be some kind of glass metal visor in front, with what seems to be covered in several eyes which kind of grow and pulse with the light blue essence to them. You see that on the back and the front of their hand, on the palm and on the back, are an eye on each side, on both hands. And every now and then they kind of place one up to their head in front of their own eye, and they proceed to like point out commands and whatever. These are completely speechless. They say nothing, but they proceed to do some kind of strange magic to communicate with others.
Right. Sasha's not gonna. Oh wait, no, Sasha's in here. I think I changed that.
No, you're there.
Oh, am I?
You're going to the Undercity.
Right. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I
rolled
forgot
a
that
20
Ghaakt was with us.
Or mine is a total of 20 for survival.
Okay. You find the location, and they are very much willing to make it for you. For what were you going to go for? Fancy, or were you going to go for regular?
Yeah, super fancy.
Super fancy. Okay. With a design that fits you, taking your measurements, they managed to get you something that would fit you perfectly for about 55 gold pieces.
55. Okay, I have that much. I'll
Okay.
give it to them.
Okay, you give them the 55 gold pieces. They say they'll be back to you in a day, or they can have it delivered to you if you want for an extra gold piece.
I don't have an extra gold piece on me. That was all my gold.
You literally have 55. Okay.
Not
I'm
enough.
18 silver pieces. Okay, yeah.
So you give them 10 silver. No.
1 gold short of first class shipping.
So you have it shipped to your home now, and it'll be done tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And they're going to make that for you throughout the day. They thank you for the assistance. They say they are running a little bit low on supplies, but they will try and get it to you with all due speed. Malcom, what were you doing?
I was just going around trying to help people, I guess.
Okay, going around and continuing to help the town in your different ways, handing out supplies, doing what you can. You also proceed to help cook food in places. You proceed to help those who need food, and you cook what seems to be a relatively nice meal with very few supplies. Quite a few people are quite happy with it, and they begin to talk to you. You begin to tell them how you've cooked for a while, and you've learned to cook, and you're trying to get the grasp on it, and a few people seem to be interested. Elsyan, he's walked off and he's doing his own thing. And you who are always talking to Rohal. So, you're all in the Undercity at this point.
Mhm.
Ghaakt, Queglod, and Sasha. You walk up to the doors and you see that there are several guards here. Usually there's 2 or 3. During the festival there was 6. Now there seems to be a good 10, and there seems to be a setup of tents nearby, where there seem to be another 15 in waiting. They are taking security extremely seriously with how Rohal's been injured.
Understandable. Just gonna sort of wait there to the side and not really and sort of like try and catch one of their eyes to approach them before approaching them.
Okay. As you do this, one of the guards kind of notices you, gives a nod, kind of looks over to somebody else and proceeds to talk to them, and you watch as a armored female human walks out, currently carrying what looks to be a large halberd. So, what do you need?
When we say human, who is this? Is this?
You don't recognize them?
Hello. Sorry. I don't know your name, I'm afraid. I'm Sasha Smashfist. You are?
Me? Why does it matter?
Well, it's always polite to know who you're talking to.
Guess that's true. Susie, pleasure to meet you.
Susie, pleasure to meet you too.
Yes.
We were here to see how things were going, specifically to visit Rohal and see how we could help her out, and maybe talk about some of our own business. But that's neither here nor there, given the state of the city at the moment.
Well, have you spoken to Rahul before?
Well, we spoke to her quite recently after the initial attack. How long have we been talking to Rohal for? Our friend Ghaakt here is new to our group, but we've been talking to her for the last few weeks, and we've been on fairly familiar terms.
Yes, we've helped Rahal with some recent business as well.
I've only seen the back of her head through a window.
Yes, Ghaakt here is our bard.
I see.
You know how.
So we've got Ghaakt. She kinda
Sasha,
gestures at you two.
Sasha, as I said, and
Queglod.
Correct. Alright, I'll go in and I'll see if she's willing to talk. You wait here. And she leaves. You see as she leaves, a few of the guards, they kind of pick up their crossbows and put them on their laps. A few of them kind of have their bolts at ready. They seem to be very much prepared for if you guys try anything. Even though a few of these guards know you, they are taking precautions. Eventually, after about half a minute or so, she comes out and goes, "Yeah, she'll see you. Go on." And kind of swings the door open. You head inside. And if you head inside and you see on the inside of this area, you see currently sat on a stool next to the central map on top of the table is Rohal. Looking around, you also see a few other individuals who you haven't recognized before. There seem to be quite a lot of individuals who you've never seen before who currently seem to be called into action almost.
Are we approaching Rohal, or are we
Yes,
what's the protocol?
Usually it will be you approach Rohal and then she'll talk to you.
I think we'll just sort of. I think Sasha will just sort of wave at Rohal, rather than approach, given the more than tense situation currently.
Queglod, by the way, you recognize one of the individuals here.
Oh yes.
She's the individual who made the deal with you. The one who gave you the emerald?
Oh yes, yes.
She's currently full veiled, but she's there.
Interesting.
I recognize that veil.
Right, I'll just give a small nod and then.
Okay.
You've been wearing the same clothes for 3 days in a row? That's gross.
So, making your way forward, Rahal looks up and goes, "Ah, so they've arrived. You wanted to talk, Sasha? Queglod? Any of you?"
Yeah. Yes, the first thing was, most important thing is that with what's been going on, how can we help? What can we do? Like, we've been helping we've been volunteering where we can, but if there's something you need, well...
Yes, we've already offered our services to the Overcity, but we'd like to help out down here if we can.
Down here, there's no need. I've called in extra help from some of the outside cities. They've made their way in. We've got enough hands to take care of down here. Troublemaker's the only real issue on the surface, but apparently there's an announcement going on which they want to take care of. Other than that, no, everything seems to be in order.
To clarify, her eyes is
Her eye is still covered.
Right. Yeah. Is there anything we can help you with that you personally need help with?
No, not personally.
Right. Well, in that case, we were wondering whether how many exits would you say there are from the Undercity at the moment? Into the Overcity directly.
Well, he kind of gives you an inspecting look.
No need to be telling me where they are. I understand that could be information you'd rather not get out. But
that came off worse than it is initially.
Yeah, sorry,
Yes.
I'm not so good at the whole talking thing.
Inside the city.
What exactly is their exact width and diameter? And can they easily be plugged by a big boulder?
Oh God.
Your friend there is a comedian, I see. With entrances to the city, there's about 3. Entrances outside of the city, probably 7 or 8. Why?
You know how we were offered that plot of land, and we've been working.
And you want to make a way in and out?
We were thinking
If that's something that would be helpful.
Certainly possible. And I haven't got one in the northern part of the city yet.
We're thinking of setting up much like sorry, my words escape me. The tavern entrance with Gen. There we go.
That is a possibility. Again, obviously he's assigned to his one, but depends. Do you just want a personal entrance, or are you looking for more commercial entrance?
More commercial. It's something that everyone can use, so that you can get to so it's just more easily accessible to different parts of the Overcity if need be.
The only requirement that I ask for this is that you hire at least 1 or 2 of my guards from the Undercity for this job.
Well, we're perfectly happy to do that.
That's perfectly fine. You'd be paying them on your commercial ways and how much you're earning and that kind of thing. If you'd be looking for anything else, we can... As one of the official entrances, you'll obviously get a lot of footfall from us, leaving and entering. Northern entrance would save a lot of people a lot of walking's time, so... That's certainly possible.
We were, as you know, we've been making plans to leave this. We were making plans to leave the city. Obviously, we're not going to leave just yet until things have been at least calming down here. So we were thinking we could hire some of your people some of the loyal Undercity folk to look after it whilst we're away and maintain it as an appropriate entrance and exit to the Undercity.
That certainly fits. I can get some individuals for you if you want. If you wanted to speak to anybody in particular, then, or if you wanted particular people to work for you, I can see if I can grab their attention.
Remind me,
names
Chris.
in mind now.
Remind me, Chris. Is Cassie part of like the Undercity?
No.
No.
She's
Bhold.
Overcity. She works directly for Aleuir.
Yeah.
Hiring her is going to be near impossible.
Damn it. There goes my one. There goes my plan.
You seem to have a very big amount of influence here. Do you want to be a doorman?
This doesn't have to destroy our hopes and dreams. We are planning to
Exactly.
work with Aleuir, so
Yes. Someday. No. We were going to see where. Well, there are a few people who we know who might be interested and helpful, but honestly, I trust your judgment more. I trust your judgment more than our own in this case.
So you want me to hire someone for you?
If there's someone who you think would be particularly suited to the job, I think it's better that you actually have been in this city for more than I want to say a month at this point, but actually probably just like a couple of weeks.
it's someone who's going to be working directly with you, regardless. So I figured if
you watch as she looks over at the other 3 individuals at the table. The one that you recognize, Queglod, and 2 others who you don't. The other 2, one of whom is an orc, very burly, also female, currently wearing what looks to be like a heavy leather armor, currently looks to have a bow staff on her back, and currently has what looks to be currently messing around with a knife on the table. Both of her tusks have been pierced with what looks to be ring loops. And you see that her hair is kind of tied back into a knot. And the other one across the table, you see what looks to be a Slovarian. Currently sat there, perched on their stool rather than sat down. Tail swinging behind them. They seem to have what looks to be a small orb currently hanging around their neck. About tennis ball sized in terms of size for it. Relatively sharp pointed snout. Kind of a blue and red complexion and very thin eyes that currently have what looks to be almost like an eyeliner shape around the outside of them. With what looks to be a basic robe and hood that's currently down. A set of horns that push back and go back down. It's a little bit difficult for you to tell the gender. If anyone cares to do so, you can make an insight check.
Mind your own business.
I'm gonna check my insight before I commit to that.
Malcolm,
I know. Be interested in trying to learn about this person, so I'm going.
I don't necessarily care about their gender. I just want to know more about them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also kind of interested in this orb.
Okay.
Primarily, does it look magic?
It's a 10.
Well, 10, you
Like
can just about tell
14.
that this individual looks to be female. It's very difficult to tell with Slovarian, them being lizards and all. But it seems to be female as well. What did you get in total, Queglod?
14 total.
Okay. The individual at the table, who are you primarily looking at, the orc or Slovarian?
The Slovarian.
Okay. The Slovarian, they don't seem to have any kind of muscle mass. They don't seem to have any form of strength or dexterity. You get the suspicion that they put more of their talent into some kind of arts, magic-wise. You're not entirely sure what, but the crystal orb kind of leans towards sorcerer, warlock, or wizard as general classifications.
Okay, yeah, it's arcane magic.
Yeah. Then if you want to do another insight roll each, if you care about the orc at all.
This person might be coming up at some point.
I'm assuming with my 10 I don't get to roll again.
No, you need to roll. You can roll again, but this will be for the orc. This is just trying to insight them.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the orc, they look strong, but you can't really tell any better than that.
18.
18. The orc seems to be fairly well built, but it's not strength that they seem to specialize in. This individual seems to be some form of monk. Relatively well discipled, the bow staff on their back. Although it looks like a regular bow staff, you can just about tell from the metal that this thing has on the tips and so on, that the wood and the metal that this is made from is not light wood. This is, if anything, this would be a very powerful kind of bludgeoning weapon if you were to use it. It's made very sturdily, and it looks very heavy for what it is, despite what it originally looks like on the surface. The individual themselves seems to be dressed in such a way that they seem to kind of lean away from Monk, where Monk seems to wear more of a less armor, more general clothing. This individual seems to be wearing some kind of armor which leans a little bit more into some sort of regular war veteran of some kind. It's kind of a mix of the two pieces. And watch as she looks over at the orc, and the orc kind of goes, well, I could see if I could get some of my individuals. If you're looking for guards, send some of them over. They might do you good. Otherwise, you might be quite good at this one, wouldn't you? Looking over at the Slitharian and giving a nod from the orc side of the table. I'd be able to find some, yes. I know a good few. Depending on what your commerce for the building is, I might be able to send them your way as well.
When they say commerce for the building,
What its purpose is.
well, we're currently working on it. We're currently intending it as a tavern, much like the one Gen runs, but a bit less conspicuously shady. The basic idea being to have a place where people can rest, but also rest and relax after this whole debacle. But also a place where the Undercity can be connected through. We're thinking of adding artisan stations and expanding it as time goes on, but for the moment we're just dealing with a mostly normal tavern.
The Therian at this point looks over at Rahal and goes, I can get some individuals for you if you'd like. Pull out a few stops, get a few individuals to help. It would mean I have a little bit more of a footfall in this city as well. It would benefit me and you at the same time. Kind of gives a little bit of a smile to it. There's the individual from across the tail, the fully veiled one, which none of you can tell immediately what this individual is. I can get a few of my individuals on it. I have a few strong individuals within my ranks. I also have a few who are probably more attractive when it comes to serving alcohol. At this point, the Slitharian turns and hisses at her. Seemingly a bit of a bickering between the two of them. Rahal turns and goes, well, so what's your choice then? Who would you rather have?
One moment. Queglod? Like 90% of Sasha's job is deferring to Queglod.
Yes, Sasha?
Look, I'll be honest, I like them both. Why
Only
not?
the more attractive one.
That's really down more to preference. Voice of
Okay. What if we
voice of
hired
Bhold that I can hear
The
someone.
voice of Bhold.
What if we hired
God, he
one?
yells loud.
What if we hired one of them for the guards and the other for the servers?
I mean, sure.
It could do.
I mean, a magic door. I mean,
I'm
magic using guard would definitely throw them off.
Right.
Bhold was gonna go to the pit fighting thing to find someone for a guard.
Well, too late, Boobala.
That's it.
Well, you need multiple guards, because you need one for the tavern and one for the entrance.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on how this goes, you could also get them to be servers.
Yeah,
Right.
that is also true. You could have a server in disguise as a guard, just...
The city's first beefcake bar. They'll never see it coming.
Dude, everyone is super trained in martial arts and everything.
They flex for you as they pour you a new cup.
I'm gonna put the idea.
The crossed swords.
Screw you.
No. I think for like we're gonna like make multiple taverns over the years, and we're also gonna make the cross swords, the queen's head, and we're gonna open up the queen's legs.
Ghakt's
Bad.
out of Ghaakt has left the room now.
Excellent. No,
I'm a professional writer. I don't need to put up with this.
Right. Sasha is going to. Both of you have different skills, but I think both of them are impressive and effective. To that end, what if one of your people covered the guards, and the others covered the servers, for whichever you would prefer?
That would be your choice. What would you prefer?
Tell me a little bit about the people you're thinking of. That might help. We're going for a relaxing tone of place, to give people a respite from the harrowing events recently.
Employers usually know what they want when they put out the job application.
We're looking for.
This isn't an application so much as a strategy meeting.
Yeah.
With the people, with your employers?
We're looking for
Employees, even?
Which amongst you do you feel offers the most calming presence of your people?
Again, that's really more up to personal preference.
Well, look, I'm just asking them. Calm down,
So you're asking.
I'm
asking
doing
them
my
which
best.
ones what people they're thinking of.
Yeah, I'm asking them what people they're thinking of, and do they think that they have a calm presence? I want the servers to have a calming presence. If they don't, then they go for the guards, because like having that bit of intimidation.
This is barkeeper or guard. At the moment. This is not server.
Barkeep and guards. Yeah.
Okay.
Barkeeper wise, Barkeeper wise, I'd be able. This is the Slitharian talking at this point. I'd be able to get you someone who's done this kind of thing before. He's currently looking for work.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty good at doing generally anything. He's had some time in this kind of work before. He's a little bit older than would be nice to have if you wanted a younger individual. But as a Dragonborn, he's well respected for being a brass. He's fairly talented and can hold his own as well. He's been in the military and served several years before. If you want someone strong for a barkeeper, he's capable, and he has the experience to become something more if you end up expanding into something bigger. If you're looking for guards, well, I have a few Slitharians with a few tricks up their sleeve. I have a set of twins, in fact. They'd be able to assist you in this. You would be paying more of a bargain price for them. Probably not as much as you'd have to pay regularly. But they'd be working more from under my footstep. Let's just say my clutch. They're relatives. I'd be able to do you a discount.
Oh, well, that's thank you very much. And yours?
I'd be able to get you a barkeeper in question. She'd be fairly attractive. Probably get quite a bit of attention. Probably be able to get a few more of the male customers aroused. Maybe bring in a few more individuals who'd be interested, that kind of thing. Spend a lot more time and drink for obvious reasons. If you're looking for guards, I have someone who's particularly strong. I believe you have met him yourself, Queglod. He was the one who threw out that horrible individual out of my establishment.
I believe I do recall.
He is currently available for hire. He simply works at my establishment on working terms. He needs to keep his hands busy.
Well, okay, Queglod, this was it barkeep or guard?
Guard is the person that she's.
This guard she just suggested you've met them. Do you think they'd be effective?
I can't claim to have had a particularly close relationship with them, but they seem to get the job done perfectly effectively when I saw them.
How how intimidating were they?
Not so intimidating that they would put people off of their drinks, if that's what you're wondering.
Well, I'm honestly considering, what if we take the orc barkeep, and then we get the twins as the guards.
I am very curious about the twins.
Orc barkeep.
Same.
This is between the Veiled and the Slavarian.
Oh, the Veiled. Wait, I thought the orc was the other one. Okay.
No.
Okay, no,
this is the Veiled one speaking. Yeah, the orc has no interest in this.
Oh. Okay, so the Veiled is a sexy snake then.
To be clear, the Veiled one was offering the Lastiagonian barmaid and the
yes,
and the big buff boy.
Yes.
Guard. And the Slavarian was offering the Dragonborn.
The Dragonborn barkeep,
and
the twin guards. Yes.
Okay. My personal vote. I think we should decide this as a team. Ghaakt, you're allowed to. Also, anyone? No, they aren't here, so we can't really.
No, they don't get a say.
No.
Screw them.
Actually, speaking of which, Malcom, where you've been assisting out in the world as it is, you head down and you speak to Gen after completing a few of your duties and helping out where you can. So Malcom, you've gone down and you're speaking to Gen now. So what can I get you? After a drink, or he starts rubbing his chin. Zzz.
No.
Which one?
At least the second one.
No drink. I was actually coming to ask you something.
Yeah.
See, we got a bit of land above, and we turned some of it into a tavern. And I was wondering if you had any inner city contacts to get supplies.
Well, if you're looking for supply runners, I got a few of them. If you're looking for smuggled goods, I can get a few of them in. If you're looking for just general traders, I got a few individuals who are fast. They can get the work done. Mostly trustworthy. Sometimes they take a cut, but that's just the way they are. But they're good service. They're reliable, and they're good at what they do. I don't think, out of all of them, I'd say, I can't think of a small group I'd be able to get you in contact with. They usually like doing long-standing jobs. They don't like doing one-time businesses. They've had enough of that for a lifetime. They like long-standing jobs to and from, seeing new sights, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I see. Well, I guess if you can get me in contact with them, then
Yeah.
I guess we can take care of the details from there.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be able to get that. Hold on. I mean, you watch as he kind of turns around, his belly kind of wobbles as he walks along. He takes a small bit of paper and with kind of like this tiny quill in comparison to his hand, he begins to write down on it. And he hands you a piece of paper. Yeah, that's the current address of the Sogrins. The Sogrins are they're a small family, group of halflings. They're very quick, very effective at what they do. They're also well armed, so they might charge a little bit more for transporting things, but I'm sure they'll be able to take your job.
All right. I'll pay them a visit. Thank you for the help.
Okay. No problem. Oh, if you're setting up a tavern, if you want, I can spread the word. Depends on where you are. You nearby, or
We're in the northern part of the city.
you got a name yet?
Not yet. We're still working on that, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll spread the word once you know. But we'll see what I can do.
Some of our party members, I believe they mentioned something about talking to Rahal about setting up a location to access the Undercity.
Yeah, they've been in and out so far, but it's good to know that they themselves have wanted an entrance. If that's the case, then you're probably going to have quite a bit of footfall, and I can probably tell the boys about the new entrance. So, yeah, help you with business at least.
Yeah, that was the hope. It could help stream business along, help us get more profit.
Yeah, obviously it would cost a bit, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, take care.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, you go about your business, and then we'll get to the speech when we get there.
Okay.
So, the rest of you, while you've had time to think. Bhold, actually. Would you like to do anything else after you've made your order?
Well, I was gonna go to the Under Tavern.
Okay.
And at the fighting pit, see if there's people there.
Okay. There are people training. There's a variety of different individuals. But...
Anyone that I would find interesting?
Well
built.
Well built. So you're looking for, like, stronger individuals?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a insight check with advantage for being a strong boy yourself. Well,
Grand total of +1, so
6.
6.
There aren't that many strong people coming through, not by your standards. Dumbing down your standards is a lot harder than going upwards. And you can't, in looking at all of them, they're all weaklings. If you want to go anywhere, you'll probably have to go to the real fighting pit.
Just want to... I guess I'll have to have over there then.
Okay. Heading down to the fighting pit, further down in the Undercity, you come across the larger fighting pit, the one where there's a bunch of things going on. You see inside, you see what looks to be two individuals currently fighting. You see an orc individual currently sparring off with what looks to be a dwarf. Two of them currently clashing with one another. The orc is well built, challenging your own strength. The dwarf seems to be less well built, but seems to be very well refined with keen strikes.
Who seems to be winning at the moment?
Give me an insight check. So just roll 2 dice and I'll tell you which one. Left is for the orc, right is for the dwarf. Okay.
Yikes.
The orc is very strong, and by your standards, he should win. The dwarf, you have no idea. He's a magic caster.
He's useless.
Yep, he's useless. As the fight goes on, you watch as the orc proceeds to punch the dwarf a few times. Hello?
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 We can hear you. Oh no, you might have lost Infernal. Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
He lost so much insight, he
Oh no, okay.
he fell out of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
My thing disconnected.
Okay.
What did you say?
So,
The dwarf was useless? I heard the orc part. He was like...
So the orc is... I said the dwarf is, for all you care, the dwarf is a magic caster. You have no idea. The orc proceeds to fight relatively strong and hard, proceeds to land a few good blows, but the dwarf seems to be able to parry quite a lot of them. Playing what looks to be much more of a defensive game. Quite a few people seem to be shouting. Looking around the arena, there's quite a few individuals who could fit the bill you're looking for. But whether they accept your job, you're not sure. You know that bounty hunting can be a very good job, and in a time of crisis like this, bounty hunting jobs could be quite high. So you'd probably be hard felt to find individuals that you might want to hire here. This probably isn't the best place to hire them. Not at this time, anyway. Coming back at a later date might help.
So no one would look interested in it.
Not from what you can tell, no. So, back to the main party. What are you all up to? Making your decision?
Right, I'm pushing for the lusty Argonian barkeep, and for but for the twins, for the guards.
Yeah, I want to see what the twins can do.
I'm curious about the twins, but I would go the other way around for my decision. I would push for the Dragonborn barkeep.
Thinking more of experienced dragon
and
bartender
Buff
would
Boy
work.
for the security.
But the twins, though.
What do they do?
From a standpoint, the twins would cost you 20 gold a week, rather than 12, but they would count as 2 guards. So you get a little bit of discount on that front. The Dragonborn is experienced, so he would be able to potentially go into a management position and an innkeeper position. So he can fit those 3 roles if you need to, which means you don't need to hire more people to spend extra gold, and you don't need to have that. You could just ask him to do it and he'd be qualified. If you, with the Lusty Argonian one, we're just going to call it that for now.
Yeah.
With that individual, obviously they might be able to bring more footfall, but at the same time, you don't know what kind of trouble you might bring in. But with the way it is, you'll probably be able to attract and lower the deficit costs during the first few weeks. You'll probably be able to speed that up relatively quickly, but you might also bring in troublemakers and individuals who are looking for trouble.
You know what? Yeah, you're right. Queglod, thinking about it, yeah, let's go for Dragonborn and big beefy snack boy.
Okay. And don't forget, you can hire these individuals again later if you wanted to. So if you needed it, because you need 2 sets of guards anyway. It's just that the twins covered both of those both slots at the same time. But if you wanted to, you can hire an extra guard and go for the twins and the other one.
We could do that.
I'm not opposed to the twins.
Go for the attractive one.
Dragonborn barkeep it is.
Okay, Dragonborn barkeep.
I just think this would...
Slitharian looks up and goes, that's good. He's been looking for work for a while. I'll get him in and send him to your door tomorrow.
Alright then, we'll
Thank you very much.
That's perfectly fine. He'll be more than happy to do this kind of work. He's quite a nice individual, and I think you might get on. With the guards as well, if you're looking for the twins, I can get them in, but the tunnel may take a few days to construct. Right? And looking at Rahal, she goes, I can probably get it constructed in about 2 days with the people I currently have on hand. If we come across a natural tunnel, I can probably cut that down by a little bit of time, but we'll see. The tunnel won't intervene with any of your other constructions, and we can connect it onto a basement if you have one, or we can just make another way in if you would like.
We don't have a basement currently, but it is something we were
planning to get.
Yes, perhaps we should get in touch with the dwarves then, see how quickly they can get that.
If you can get a basement ready, they might be able to get a basement ready in about a day. If you're talking about the crew that Regan used to have on hand, then yes, you should be able to do that within a day. That shouldn't be too difficult. But if you're looking to get the tunnel made and connected to a basement, I can get that sorted. Is that alright with you?
That works fantastically for me.
Making the tunnel itself will benefit both sides. So, with this entrance being put through, with it being naturally free-flowing and the natural income coming from people going in and out of the tavern all the time, 200 gold to get that set up?
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool to pay that. I don't have cash on hand. We need Malcolm with the bag of holding.
Will these suffice? And I pull out two 100 GP amethysts.
She looks them over and she goes, "Yes, they'll do perfectly fine. I will return one of these if we do find a natural cavern, because that'll lower the costs. So I'll return one if that does come around, and I'll have them pass that on to you when if it reaches that point. But we'll see." And she puts them in a small bag at her side.
Thank you very much. Well,
No, bit of iron oval.
I think that's everything we've done that we need here. I wanted to let you know that with the personal tasks that you asked me about with that Redoc helped with, that's going to be part of what I'm heading to try and work with. The dragon, was it called Dragon Fort? Which is I'm trying to go to. Where's the new map?
Up here.
There it is. I'm blind. Drakenforge and Mount Vulgrim are where I'm planning to get what I need to begin our work on that.
Well, do keep me informed.
Of course.
But other than that, if that's everything you need.
Again,
unless you had any other business, Sasha?
At this point,
is that like a? Yeah, I don't think so.
At this point, the orc intervenes and goes, "I'm actually wondering something. These individuals, they've acquired a home of their own, and you are particularly trusting of them, Rohal. Is there anything interesting about these individuals that you'd like to share? Or anything you would like to share yourselves?"
Well,
I don't know that there's anything I would call interesting. We've worked with Rahal before. Helped each other with certain bits of business.
So, and at this point, Rahal goes, "Are you referring to the strongest individual in their team?" The orc kind of looks back attentively. "I'm not sure about this one. He's fairly new," gesturing to you, Ghaakt. "But they have a Goliath on their team. He's bested Redoc in an arm wrestle." At this point, you watch as her eyes almost gleam with kind of passion and understanding, and a grin begins to widen across her face.
Oh no! Oh god, no!
A hot-blooded fighter, finally.
Yeah, I think he's about to get his blood hotted.
About to go into a shonen anime passion speech.
Yeah.
At that moment, Behold's ears start twitching.
Feel a shiver.
It's gonna be like that
down your
scene at the
spine.
opening of Predator where they're just flexing in front of the camera.
So, as this is said, you watch as she turns and goes, "Well, if you could bring this individual to me, I'd be very much interested to see how strong he is."
Well, feel free to come down by our tavern at some point. I'm sure he'll be there.
You watch as she kind of her grin kind of disappears to more of a
Oh, can I try a persuasion?
Yeah,
with that?
go for it. What do we got here then?
It's an 8.
She doesn't seem impressed.
Okay, right. Yeah.
I'm sure
maybe.
Bhold will be happy to meet with you at some point.
Yeah. I mean, you'll either find him at our tavern or you'll find him around the fighting arenas or
I
somewhere.
think when you tell me, they'll find me at their home.
Okay.
First for the
I'll
whole.
keep an eye out. Thank
Or
you.
you'll find him with some
Thank you very much.
getting a massage.
Oh,
At that point, she turns and looks at the veiled individual. One of your friends, then? He is a regular patron, yes.
Like in character, Sasha is just struggling to hide giggles, just like.
Ghaakt is like, yeah, bar crawls, it seemed like exactly what he would do.
Anyhow, it's been lovely meeting you all, and Rohal, as ever, a pleasure.
They give a nod, and Rahal actually turns to you, Queglod, and says, "Could I speak to you for a moment?"
As you wish.
The rest of you may go.
I'm gonna grab Ghaakt and go like, I'm not getting in the middle of all of that. Ghaakt, come on, Ghaakt. You can show me what a music is.
What a
I'll
music!
try to meet with you before the demonstration.
Yes,
I
yes.
suspect we won't need too long here.
I'll see about I'll see about contacting any folks I know in the brewery business whilst.
Yes, you do that.
Okay. So while you go about doing your thing, with you kind of left here on your own, Queglod being pulled aside, I would like everybody to move to General, please. Other than Queglod, obviously.
No, we go Queglod as well. Where's the general?
Bjorn, I can move you there. Sudz?
I'm having issues moving myself, so keep.
There we go. So, Queglod, your favor's been paid off, and the oracles will be arriving when it best fits you.
Alright then. This is concerning our business from a while back.
From before, with our friend here, when you took the emerald,
Yes.
you asked to see the oracles. And the individuals from afar to give you information you needed.
Yes, I remember. I remember our arrangement.
Good, good. The only other thing that I do also have to say is that there is something I am interested in. You're an enchanter, yes? Sasha has brought it up before.
I've been honing the art.
If you're willing to become a little bit more skilled in the enchanting arts, I have a job for you. If you're interested.
Tell me more.
She reaches into her small bag at the side and places a kind of a crystal ball, a very small one, about the size of a golf ball, maybe, probably smaller, on the table. I would like you to make me an enchanted eye. My one's been damaged, and I'd like to replace it.
Alright then. I don't suppose you have schematics for such a thing.
I can give you a basic plan. It'll be setting up basic true sight, that kind of thing. Potential seeing through darkness.
I see.
From what Sasha and from what I know, you seem to be a little bit more acquainted with a little bit more quirky powers. I don't know what your patron is, or what they give you, but from what I know, it seems you seem to be well versed in seeing through other people's lies.
I suppose so. I've always had something of a gift in a metaphorical sense. Of late, it's become more literal.
Good. Well, if you're willing to take up this task, I can... Oh, who knows? Maybe I could help you out a bit with your tavern.
Well, I'll look into the creation of this thing then. I suspect it will take time to make preparations, but...
Of course. Take the time that you need. I'm simply asking you because none of the others seem to have anything to see through darkness. The spell is particularly useful for hiding, and it would be interesting to be able to see through it now and again.
Yes, I understand the need. My people are not naturally gifted with dark vision, as many others are, so I certainly appreciate the benefits of magical assistance in that area. Well, how soon then can I meet these oracles?
Depends. If you wish to meet them, I can get them arranged for a couple of days away. If you would prefer it in the future, your Sasha mentioned when you might be leaving town at some point, so if you want to arrange for when they get back, I'm sure that's possible.
We'll probably be journeying quite far once we do eventually leave, so it'd be best to have the meeting before.
Is 2 days okay?
2 days will be fine.
That is fine with me then. If that is all, I will have it sent that they will arrive in 2 days' time.
Very well then. And we can discuss more of this other business once I've had time to make preparations.
Yes.
Very well then. There being nothing else, I will take my leave then.
You may indeed. Gives a nod, and you proceed out. If you'd like to go and get the others, they seem to have split into 2 different groups, so if you want to go to general chat first and then...
Right, yeah.
Hello, chat. It's just me now. Only you will get to hear this. Oh!
Hello.
Don't worry, I was only talking to chat there.
Hello.
Hello! So,
Greetings.
No, okay, I've got it. Shalia's secret. The secret is the friends we made along the way.
oh man, so deep. So,
Oh,
The
shit,
Shalia, the
plot
Shalia
of One
is the friends we
Piece
made along the
ruined.
way.
so you're the one who ruined it, Infernal.
What do you mean?
Even worse, what should be the hat?
So, with your business taken care of in the Undercity, speaking to Rohal, going about what you need to do, you head up to the surface, you proceed to take care of any other business, and I believe we'll move on, unless you have a... Actually, we'll say you send in the commission for a basement to be built. The dwarves being currently on demand for what you're doing, they finish up what they're doing and then they begin work on the basement. They'll finish tomorrow morning. They'll work through the night if you want them to. It will mean that you guys might have a little bit more difficulty sleeping, but hey, something you can do.
I'll be right back. I need to go use something real quick.
Okay.
If Sasha helped, would it speed things along any, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you guys can help and you can speed it along slightly if you want. So you'd be going for the basement, which is 250 gold. Malcom will take that out of his thing when he comes back. And it's 200 gold, which you've already paid for the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the tunnel will take 2 days to complete, and it will connect to your basement. So,
From where?
from the courtyard of the Undercity to your... Actually, no, it would connect from the general location of it. It would go from the... It would go from the edge of the training center, actually. The place you've been to, Bhold.
Oh,
In the
we're gonna have a lot
Undercity.
of tired people coming, and they will want
Yeah, you will.
refreshments.
They're right out of the fighting pit. Straight into the tavern.
No, remember the location, it isn't a fighting pit, it's a training area.
Well,
It-
yeah,
it's
but
the
the fighting
barracks.
pit is close to it.
Granted, yeah. But it's a ways away. Your rooms are closer to the fighting pit than it is. So just a general understanding of what it looks like. I'll quickly do a quick drawing for those who care. Under tavern, corridor, main hall area. This is not to scale. This is just general connection. And then the big arena's over here. Your rooms are about here, part of the general barracks. There's a line that leads up. There's a line that leads this way. There's a prison here. And then, proceeding to go a little bit further up, it leads into a large barracks area, which then proceeds to go down a set of stairs. So that goes down a set of stairs and leads into a second large barracks area with what looks to be a lot of training areas. and then you go into a area which is for specialized people only.
Mhm.
You would be connecting on here.
Wait, so what do you mean our rooms are here?
This is where your old rooms were. Remember where you slept?
Oh, all the rooms there.
Yeah.
Where would our thing be located above ground? According to this?
Your thing would be located about here above ground. Rough dimensions.
And
wise.
the fighting pit is where?
And
Like
this
here?
would lead like this. What do you mean
The
fighting
fighting
pit?
pit is like here. The place I just went to.
Are you talking about the Gen fighting pit or the big fighting pit?
Again.
Gen fighting pit is here.
Oh.
And then that connects to the other tavern.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the big fighting pit is here, which is where things take place. And then if you really want to get fancy, like down here somewhere is where the massive arena is for the Church of Steel.
Uh-huh. But that's above ground, isn't it?
Yeah, that's above ground. Now I've got to delete all this. Meh. So, that's where you would roughly connect into the equation. So, you order the basement. You back, Sudz?
Yeah.
Okay. Take 250 gold out of the bag of holding.
250 gold.
And that will be getting the basement done, which will take place. You guys proceed to help out where you can, building it and generally doing general excavation. A mage does show up from the tower and proceeds to set up general, like arcane support while the entire structure is being built with all of the beams and that kind of thing. And he gets set up and everything's done. And Elsyan is currently waiting for you guys outside as you head off towards the announcement. Before we go to the announcement, I would like to take a quick break.
Yep.
So we will be back in 2 to 3 minutes. Won't be long. And we're back. That was quick, like I told you. About 2 minutes. Nothing to worry about.
Infernal died.
Oh, diddums. What a shame. So, back to the hurdy-gurdy music.
Oh god, not again.
This is the literal description of it, hurdy-gurdy. So, reaching about late afternoon, early evening, you all proceed to make your way towards the centre of town. There is currently, and the announcement is going to take place, and you are invited to go to the stage. You're escorted to it, and you're led up to the back portion of it where you'd be able to walk onto it. You see it. This is extremely and heavily guarded, and as you walk through into this announcement, you see that all of the guards seem to be holding what looks to be some kind of stone that they are currently like pulling over your body. As they do so, you lot get pulled aside and you get examined because you're wearing magical items. Whatever they seem to be holding seems to be some kind of detect magic stone. And they proceed to inspect you. Eventually one of the governor's own people comes over and kind of lets you through, and you get pulled over to the stage. As you're standing there, you see Hurricane kind of walks up onto the stage. There's kind of the general chit-chat and the crowd.
Where is this?
You're currently in the center of town.
Oh, is this the announcement?
This is the announcement, yes.
Okay,
And
Bhold is gonna put down the thing. When he arrives there. Yeah.
The what?
Did it arrive?
No, it doesn't arrive till tomorrow.
Oh, this is the same day.
Yeah. If this
I
was
thought the
all for that,
announcement
then
was
you've just
today.
wasted 55 gold, but...
Yeah, I thought it was the other day.
No.
Wait, wasn't it yesterday that it arrived?
No.
Oh, it was.
No, because you were busy building.
Whatever, it's fine.
It's fine. So, you watch as Hurricane stands up the front, and you watch as he raises his hand, and the crowd goes silent. There are a lot of guards that seem to be a lot more attentive this time, and they're a lot more well prepared. People of Adamanthia. Some of you may recognize me as the new High Governor of this city. Hurricane is my name. I would like to say a few words before handing over to the ones who wish to talk to you. First, I would like to thank everyone who has worked hard to recover and assist those who needed it in this time of crisis. To the chefs who spared food, the guards and citizens who bring peace, and the shop owners who spared supplies of food and medical assistance to those who needed it. Also to the people and the fighters who helped free those who were trapped in the buildings previously. I would also like to apologize on behalf of the superiors of this city, where we were unable to overcome and prevent this tragedy from taking place. You watch as he says this, he goes into what looks to be a 90-degree bow, currently doing a very deep bow to what looks to be most of the crowd. The crowd proceeds to start muttering amongst themselves before he kind of sets himself upright again, still in his more tuxedo kind of attire. With this tragedy, many gave their lives. I would like to take a moment of silence for those who lost their lives, both those fighting and those innocent throughout the entire event. It's at this point that the people go silent, and they remain silent. You watch as he bows his head, and everybody does the same. Do you?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes, obviously.
Okay. You all bow your heads in silence. A moment passes. Sound of the light wind blowing past. Just rushing through the city at this point. You can feel the sun on your backs. And eventually, you hear a few words. That is all that I have to give. There are many who gave their lives. That is all that we can do for them for now. But we will do more. As some of you may already know, from rumors going around, the High Marshal Aleuir will be heading to Oregon tomorrow. Oregon is our capital, as you know. He will be going to talk to the council there about our next steps in seeking aid and reinforcements for this city. In his absence for the next few days, myself and Regan will be in charge of the city temporarily. Regan is currently very busy investigating the whole event, and what we know so far. From what I have been informed by his searching so far, the Amber Grin is responsible for this attack. The Amber Grin are the organization behind the same attack on the Academy less than a month ago. This information has brought us to believe that the foe is indeed the Alliance, and strict actions will be being taken against them once the dust has settled on this matter and affair, and once more evidence has been acquired. As for myself, I will be very busy keeping the city in shape. You will not see me out and about most likely, but I will be there. I will be sending out specialist individuals who will be setting up posts for you citizens to take up jobs for rebuilding the city. You will get paid to do so out of our own pockets in order to assist the city as best we can. I wish you all the best, and that you'll be able to rebuild your lives as we must all. I will now hand over to the ones who wish to bring this announcement today, and the ones who wish to grab your attention. And he turns to you, Malcom.
Step forward.
Okay. You walk onto the stage. The rest of you follow.
Are we being expected to?
Up to you.
I'll go up next to him like I'm a bodyguard.
Sasha's gonna stand there with Malcom.
Okay. Elsyan does the same.
Okay. Do we know what Malcolm's planning to say? Because I certainly don't.
It's fine. He spoke about it with Sasha while you were doing your number crunching, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Queglod and Ghaakt, are you going up?
I suppose so.
If the others are, I suppose so, yeah.
Okay. You two both head up as well. The crowd falls silent as they stare at you, Malcom. You feel your heart beating. This is the first time you've spoken in front of a crowd, almost in your life.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Sister.
Yay, sister.
We talked about this. I'm gonna try. Can I use my thaumaturgy to like boost?
Yeah. No, he
Malcolm's
already spoken
voice,
about
yeah.
this. Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
We interrupt this program for a short commercial break. Where I
No,
would
I'm
like
back.
to make... No, fine then.
It was a really short.
It was a
commercial
really
break.
short commercial break. Go ahead.
Alright. So, Sasha did the thaumaturgy?
And we'll
Alright.
continue to reapply it as necessary.
People of Adamantia, I realize this is a hard time for you all. And I also know that we were singled out as the reason this attack occurred. But we stood and we fought the ones that attacked the city. We defended the people of the city as soon as they were threatened. We defended you. This enemy's reasons for attacking us were misguided and false. We were not. These were not true followers of Motalan. They allied themselves with necromancers and undead. The enemies of Motalan and the Dawnmarsh. The fact of the matter remains that the ones who are responsible need to pay, but we can't go around attacking everyone who follows the Church of Light. We need to take our time and learn the facts. Yes, he said he was with the church, but clearly he defied the teachings of the light. He defiled and twisted the tenets of Motalan to suit his own purposes. And even if the rest of the church did think we are unsuitable as Dawn Marshals, I believe we have already proven any doubters wrong. We drove the attackers back. We defended our city against seemingly impossible power. Even though we lost dear ones. And damage is still rife. We won. And we are rebuilding. They did not beat us. They did not break us. For we are Adamantia. We have to make sure we do not end up like them, blindly attacking those we believe to be our enemies. They hurt innocents for no reason other than their own twisted zealotry and discrimination. But if we must blame anyone in all this, blame us, not the followers of a religion that these invaders corrupted for their own ends. Blame us, as they did. If you wish, but do remember that if we weren't here,
Yay, family.
Damn hecklers.
Yep. Well,
if we weren't here, the entire city could have been destroyed, yes. We lost much in this attack, but we have lost so much more. But we could have lost so much more. We do plan to leave the city, but at the current moment, we decided to help the city the best we can by rebuilding with you, protecting you to the best of our abilities, and sharing what we have to help those in need. But we refuse to see any more people looting, stealing from those who have already lost so much and may need it so much more, or attacking people that follow Mutalan. Victims as much as anyone in all this so far is you, or any of us. No, so far as you or any of us know. What we need to do is work together and bring the city back to its former glory together. The ones who did this will pay, and we will make sure of that. If there are any amongst you who still doubt us, who still wish to attack the Church of Light, who still want to steal for their own gain, or hurt innocent children for no reason other than they follow a religion, then I offer you a challenge. Come fight us. Not innocents and victims in all this. Not the guards and volunteers who have been trying to fairly distribute resources to allow everyone to survive and rebuild. If you attack them, you're just as bad as those invaders, lashing at us blindly out of discrimination and sick obsession. You have been attacking those who had nothing to do with the tragedy, who have lost just as much as you have, who are even now having to hide, fearing for their lives, whilst the rest of us get to recover from what was done to us. So instead of hurting those who are just like you, trying to recover from tragedy and pain, if you must fight, then please fight us. But no, you will simply be doing what those invaders would have wanted, tearing ourselves apart for them. And to the invaders who tried to break our city, leave the innocents out of this. If you attack again, then attack us. We're the ones you want. We're your enemies. We're who you should attack. And we aren't afraid. Prepare to lose. Thank you for your time.
So at the end of that, you watch as Malcolm raises his staff up and slams it down on the desk, on the platform of the stage. Casting a dramatic cool lightning, you watch as the sky above crackles with electrical energy travelling up from the staff itself, shooting into the sky, and the sound of a thunderclap begins to grow outwards from it. The crowd hushes, and anybody who had doubts currently has none. The crowd seem to sway back and forth. There are a few mutters at times, but now they lie silent. They lie staring. Who has the highest perception here, other than Elsyan, who isn't here and was relying on him being here?
13.
Passive
Yep,
or
passive.
I have 14.
I believe I have 13 as well.
Okay.
9.
Okay, so everybody
12.
everybody other than Queglod and Ghaakt, you notice walking through the crowd is a hooded figure. The figure is accompanied by a larger hooded figure. While this is going on, Elsyan performs some basic mental magic and communicates a message to the rest of you saying it's okay, they mean no harm.
What's going on? I can't see anything back here.
One of the
Just
tallest
to
people
take-
trying to jump over Queglod.
There wasn't enough room for me to get up the stairs.
Oh, wait. So two hooded figures, one bigger, one smaller, coming through the crowd?
Yes, and people seem to be going through. The smaller one seems to be leading the way, and some of the people are moving out of the way as they barge through.
Could I just to take a brief moment? Can I just say well done, Sudz?
Yes, very well done.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very good. Probably.
Loud applause.
Indeed. As they walk closer, you watch as the smaller one takes the hood back. Malcolm, you immediately recognize this individual. This is the individual you were speaking to previously when you were in the Church of Light. The head of it. Or the Cathedral of Light, I should say.
I see.
You remember when you previously spoke to him and you had time reversed for you?
Yeah, the one that would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
As you watch as this individual stands there, kind of looking up at you, kind of eyes kind of struck in awe, he begins to mutter, but then he goes, "They say it's true. That there is Lighthouse, the weapon, the commander of the Dawn Marshals. What they say is true." And he turns around, and this time he's like spinning and talking to the crowd as he says this. "They have been chosen. We were blind to not see it. We apologize for falling blindly on our faces, not showing what we needed to do. We see what we have done was wrong. We sought them out to bring them to justice, but instead they are true. They are the chosen. What they say is right, and we were in the wrong. I cannot ask any forgiveness from any of you, but please, don't take this out on the church. We wish only to serve now. Serve under them. What do you say?" And he turns and he looks at you, Malcolm.
What was that again? Sorry, I
Which
got
part of it?
distracted. The last part.
If you'd like, don't blame it on the church. We would like to
And then-
serve. We would like to serve them. What do you say? At this
I
point,
don't
the
believe-
large figure pulls the hood off as well, and you see this individual. Immediate recognition from most of you. This individual is an Azamar.
Interesting.
wearing what looks to be a heavier armor underneath.
Right. Is this a situation where we can like put forth an idea to Malcolm, or is it only Malcolm?
I'm going to pull up a timer, and I'm going to put 30 seconds on it.
Mhm.
During which you are going to have the ability to talk to Malcolm. This will be through mental communication as he thinks. So,
Wait, what?
3, 2, 1, go.
They have a lot to make up for, but we shouldn't blame them for. It's better to have allies than enemies.
Yeah, we definitely like to. I'd be more of a mind to work with them rather
Yeah.
than have them work for us.
Pope shows up, says, "Hey, we got to get those guys. What you gonna do?" Listen to what Pope says.
If they want to work for us, then I guess we can just let them do it. What I was basically planning on doing was I was just gonna be like, we don't blame the church.
Okay.
Main focus has to. Okay.
What do you say, Malcolm?
We do not blame the church. As you can do as you please. If you want to follow us, then do so, but we do not require it.
The older man looks a little bit stunted, but accepting of this. And the crowd kind of look around, and you see as a few individuals kind of like they lower their heads almost in shame.
Why is that?
Make an insight check.
I would like that's 13.
Okay. It's easy enough to read. These are people who have probably done something to try and hurt the Cathedral of Light during this event and after it took place.
I see.
Can Sasha go forward to say something? Because
Malcolm, it's your stage. You can choose.
Go ahead.
Sasha steps forward. Yes, you were wrong. You admit that, and you've learned from it. We won't ask you to follow us. We won't ask you anything like that. But what we do ask is that you put all your effort into helping the people of this city recover. And then just steps back. Like, I'm out. I'm far too socially awkward for this.
The older man seems a little bit more taken aback by it, whereas the Aasimar gives a very kind of gracious nod at the two of you. The crowd seems to be generally quite peaceful now. They seem to be just feeling the air and kind of understanding the atmosphere. These people seem to be welcome to that. You watch some of the guards move out of the way or kind of release their grip on this kind of situation. And stepping back, a few people begin to turn away. And they begin to walk back to their homes and doing what they need to do. A large portion of the crowd seems to stay in place, though. And you watch as one individual kind of tries to get a little bit closer to the stage and goes, "If you're the Dawn Marshals, what do we do now?"
Rebuild. The city has been hurt, and it needs to be fixed. Leave the finding of the main ones responsible to the higher ups and us. What I believe the people should be doing is focusing on rebuilding and living.
The individual turns and kind of gives a look at local people, gives a nod before he shouts out, "We can all agree to that, can't we?" And he goes, "Ah!" And there's a bunch of whooping and cheering as the crowd suddenly gets riled up by this. They begin to cheer and kind of they raise their hands in the air, kind of showing gestures, kind of shouting, "Yeah!"
Bhold goes into a rage and starts raging. Yeah.
A few of the people around the immediate stage get a little bit worried, but they join in with it, encouraged by it.
Ghaakt, it's fucking time. Time
What?
to play your giant violin or whatever the fuck it is.
A large
here
portion
we
of people
go.
at this time are very into this, and they seem to be very much happy and pleased with this outcome.
All right, I cast. Oh, wait,
Okay.
no, I believe it was a cantrip actually.
This is exactly
It would
what I
still
was
be
hoping.
cast.
It's time for a dance party ending, folks.
I play the shield.
Yeah, dude.
Sure, I'll play a flute. I'll play my
I cast dancing lights to create 4 spotlights that blaze down on top of me.
Even though it is it's in the evening and it's very difficult to tell the spotlights are there are a few people who notice.
Damn it, I should have saved this for the light show. Either way, there's one above me and anyone else. I mean, they'll all be above me unless anyone else wants to join in for, battle.
Music making.
I'm playing the shield.
I'm
All right,
playing my-
one's over him. All right.
Pan flute for
There's
Sudz,
one more.
shield, Bhold,
Yep, drums.
war drums for
All right,
you.
cool. We've got a band going.
All right. I'd like you all to give me. I'm gonna say
Performance.
for that speech, everybody has advantage on this performance check.
Believe you should never give me advantage ever again.
Son of a bitch.
Because it does not help me at all.
It's 15, but
I got an 11 and a 12.
19 on the shield.
Okay, 19 on the shield.
5 for me.
I got.
wait, are we
My
counting both
speed
dice
is
or just the
overriding
one?
the
Are we
drum.
counting both dice or just the
I got
highest dice?
7.
Just the highest.
Highest.
Yeah, I got 15.
And I got 17.
Okay. On your viol, it's very easy for you to play and cut through the crowd. With you, Behold, yours gets drowned out by the cheering of the crowd as you're trying to play the war drums. You can't seem to play them loud enough to kind of go over the crowd.
I mean, especially compared to the shield. That's why you should have more than one percussion
Yeah.
instrument, folks.
The shield, with Sasha smashing against the shield also, it proceeds to kind of drown out, making a very loud, but very well timed and rhythmic banging sound. And with the pan flute, quite a few individuals seem to be paying attention more to you, Malcom, after this.
I think we've just invented industrial rock.
To clarify, dwarves love heavy metal.
Yes, they do. If any, they are the heaviest of metal listeners. And as you proceed to play,
Have
the
you seen
local
their hair?
the
and their
local
beards? Of
people
course
seem
they are.
to be very much into this, and they kind of celebrating to this. Quite a few of the guards also seem to be very comforted by this new access of music, and you watch as a few more people kind of move off, and you see those who weren't necessarily able to get close enough. They begin to speak about this. They begin to tell tale of it and begin to carry this out into the streets as people begin to talk about what's going on. After you continue to play your music and inspiring the people as you do, you go back to your place of residence unless you wish to say anything else.
I wish to talk to
Hurricane? You can do that. What would you like to say?
I thank you for gathering the people.
I'm glad I
felt
did.
that this was something that needed to be done.
People know that you're done marshals now. This will make you targets.
It'll make us targets and not the city again.
That is good.
And that's what we want.
Good. Then I do indeed thank you for this. Actually, I think it is rather befitting. You have a piece of land, yes?
Yes, we do.
If you ever need my help with anything regarding that, I'll see what I can do. You can speak to me personally. You've diffused a lot of the negativity in this city as it is. You've done us a great favor.
It was a pleasure taking care of the tensions in the city.
We do hope you will keep Regan's status under wraps.
Yes, of course.
Gives a nod.
What question? Are the rest of us still on stage?
The rest of you would be with him at this point. This is after your performance is over and people have gone home.
Damn it, I forgot to cast Beacon of Hope again.
If you wanted to have it be that you cast Beacon of Hope during that, that's fine.
Yeah.
As you're playing the shield, you cast Beacon of Hope and a Aleuir appears above your head. A few people seem a little bit confused, but also very curious about it.
It's a beacon of hope, and it's totally not going to be the sign I put up on top of the bar. Advertising, people, advertising.
At one point, I thought Malcolm was going to say, and to help this community, we opened a bar. We'll be open in a month. See you there, the grand opening, folks.
No, I left the advertising to Sasha.
Look, I desperately wanted to, but I did feel like that would be a bit of a dick move.
No
I
kidding.
can handle marketing.
I mean,
tomorrow, free drinks on everyone.
we don't have drinks to serve.
We'll get them by tomorrow.
All I can do is make lots of water.
Yeah, we can give them tap water. It's fine.
Hmm.
It's free.
Yes, so, with that, you all head home. A few individuals, as you're going by, they proceed to kind of nod and thank you. The old man and the paladin do catch up to you and they walk with you for a bit. I thank you for what you've done. You've put at ease the people's anger. If there's anything we can do for you, we'll do what we can. You said to help the individuals, and we will, to the best of our ability. If there's anything else, you have our thanks.
I do have a quick question for you. Do you know anything about the main individual that attacked the Asumar?
He said he came from the south. He came here and greeted us. He had his zealots with him, and we thought nothing of it. We greeted him with such a gracious visit. He didn't give us any time to prepare a ceremony for him. He just showed up. That probably should have been suspicious to us, but we didn't see it. He showed up to this town, proceeded to what any usual individual would do. We didn't think anything of it. I'm sorry we don't know more, but that's all we know. We're secretive, and we, even I, am not allowed to ask questions.
I was just wondering if you knew anything. Can I actually insight his hunter?
Sure, go for it.
Nope.
He is
Of course.
lying all the way. No. From what you can tell, he's difficult to read. After all that's happened, you're kind of filled with the emotions and the kind of the exhaustion of your speech and the pressure that was put on you. It's very difficult to read him.
Can Sasha insight this?
You can provide advantage.
Yeah, go right ahead.
It's a reroll.
Yeah.
It's another one.
This happened before the Sudz.
It has. That's +4, so it's 10.
From what you can tell, he seems to be telling the truth. Again, your exhaustion being a portion to this, it's a little bit difficult to read him, but from what you can tell from the surface, he seems to be telling the truth.
I don't believe we got your names.
This is. Hold up, I got his name.
Good,
Don't
because
worry.
I don't otherwise have to troll through my notes. He'll be here somewhere. Maybe.
I'm just waiting for my notes to load. Hold
on. No.
Alright, they're loaded.
No, I gotta check. What's his name?
By the way, I gotta be gone in like in 15 minutes.
His
That's fine.
name
Yeah,
is
I'll be.
Father Grundier. Grudier.
Grundy.
Grundy. Father Grundy, and I look to the Azamar.
Guardian Fortherin.
Well, a pleasure to meet you. I only wish it could have been under better circumstances.
I agree. This city has been under a lot. When this whole thing took place, I was on pilgrimage, completing my oath.
I remember performing my own hermitage in part of my worship of a Turan. They can be. I probably don't say that because apparently dragons are illegal.
You've
in
said
my
it now.
worship. Dicks.
The two individuals, the father kind of looks at you with a little bit of curiosity. The paladin doesn't seem fazed.
I meant to say.
You said
Oh.
There's not a problem with that, is there?
Not from me.
Right,
I understand the basic laws of what took place. If anything, Motalin is simply a brother to Oturan. There is nothing wrong with that. It is those who do not understand the chromatic nature that pose it. Motalin is, after all, a white dragon. People just don't see past it.
It seems ridiculous to me. Like, I've been to the festivals of snow where white dragons have come down to help and give offerings.
That is why Motalin is accepted. But a Turan, being a red dragon, and with the keep, Arcanthun being in the northeast.
Sorry, Arcanthun, can I get like a placement roughly?
Yeah, it's on the map.
Oh my god.
It is literally the burning fortress with the dragon over top of it.
Look, it's been a fucking while. I keep forgetting this map exists. I only remembered this because I had to find Mount Volgrim. Damn.
Arcanthun.
Hi, Twitch.
That is your
we have a
destination.
lovely map over here.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh,
hello,
oh
Twitch,
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and Mount Volgrim is over here.
Look,
Cool, we're going to Castlevania.
I'll be honest here. If I can see past my entire family being burnt to death by red dragons, I'm pretty sure everyone else hasn't really got an excuse here.
True. But red dragons torment the people nonetheless. Many have also seen a similar sight to what you have.
True.
Which is why I have this. That I take out my dragon thing.
Dragon thing?
Yeah.
Fang.
He pulls out a red dragon fang. The large fang itself currently hanging around what looks to be a piece of kind of like hardened leather that was currently hanging around on the inside of Malcolm's shirt as he pulls out the large dragon fang and kind of holds it. About the size of the raptor claw from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That is quite a show. Have you
What was it?
killed one before?
Yes. In the Barren Lands where I'm from, a few years back, a dragon attacked our home. I got the final hit on the dragon, and as a token of dealing the final blow, I got this from the leader of our tribe.
I see. Well, regardless, I see nothing wrong with the Turan. Many do. Maybe that is a difficult thing.
Well, it's not easy, but I mean, on the plus side, gets you funny looks in some places. That can be amusing. Well, Mortalin, I have nothing against Mortalin. I have nothing against you or your church. I only have anything against those that have hurt my people. I've only been here for like a month at most, but they're still my people.
They're people. We don't.
They're people. All people are my people. Sasha don't discriminate.
No one likes to see a people die.
Yeah. Too many people get deaded. Want more people, not less.
More people and less dead.
Less death by less untimely death of people, more timely death of people. That's what I say.
Yeah.
On time death.
Those are words I can get behind.
and then we all die of having fucking strokes.
Less of people saying too soon, and more people saying, yeah, that seems about right.
It's about time.
You had a good
that's
run.
just too long.
Right. Well, back to the actual serious D&Ding. Very serious.
Yes. Do not worry about us. We will do what we can. If you ever need us, you know where to find us. And you watch as he leads the old man away. A few individuals give them looks, but nobody seems to care, and quite a few people seem to like, I don't know, kind of like breaking up anybody who looks at them kind of with any form of dark intent. The people seem to notice, and they seem to be trying to break up any kind of violence that might ensue.
Well, hopefully no violence does ensue.
As you head back to your tavern, you get back there. The dwarves are still working on your basement, and they proceed to work through the night. You proceed to spend the rest of the day working. Elsyan goes up to bed, proceeds to meditate. He's finding it difficult, so he meditates for the extra 4 hours, just because of the noise being made downstairs. And that is where we shall end the session. So,
Okay.
with our party well rested, a speech spoken to the crowd, and the city laid to rest as it begins to rebuild itself, our heroes and adventurers proceed to take the next few days off, where I will proceed to speak to them if they have anything special they wish to do, and we will have the buildings made time by time. If you do anything that would be done on stream, I will proceed to do that as normal. And at some point during the week before next session, I will want to know what you guys as a party will be putting through if you wish to have anything else built. And then that will be taken out of the bag holding and so on. So yeah, we will have a 2 or 3 day time skip while you guys proceed to do that before we move on. So, thank you all for watching on the Twitch and potentially the YouTube side. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have stuck throughout, I thank you greatly for what you have done. Feel free to follow, share it with those that you know. There'll be a little bit more combat potentially in the future, but who knows. And with the party travelling forward and moving on to future adventures, hopefully you will get to see that as they develop and they grow. So, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one. Yeah, bye-bye!
Bye. Porn stars.
And I'll also post the Discord in the chat. And as he said,